Oh, yeah. The Philly bad guy. Oh, I love it. Oh, my. Hang on. Hold on. I'll put my little merit badge there, man. Welcome aboard, Big Sills. It is the Football Friday. The greatest phrase of all time is a Football Friday here on the National Football Show with Big Sills. And did you not feel it last night watching that snow in Cleveland? That's football, man. You're starting to get, we're now in the months now where you're feeling it. Cold weather, football, FU, holidays are coming around the corner here. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. First 15, we haven't broken the 147 yet. That is an all-time record on the first 15 minutes, which makes it the most important 15 minutes when it comes to the like button. Okay? So 147, we have not gotten past that. All super chats go to the top. Just like this here. Hurts is going to throw for 20 touchdowns. That's pathetic. Absolutely. 304. He's going to have more rushing touchdowns this year than he's going to have passing touchdowns. And you're going to think he's a quarterback out of the Mountain West Conference. Jalen Hurts, Utah State. Rams and Eagles, SoFi Stadium on Sunday. We'll get to that. My prediction. We'll do that here in a minute. Please hit the like button. Before we get going, I love the fact that people are coming after my friends here at JAKIB. They've been coming after me forever. I've always taken it as a merit badge, and I got to tell you something. Kudos to the Grouses for changing the narrative. See, when you're a small guy in a big pond and you're making waves, they try to settle the waves by getting rid of you. And I made an analogy too. You know those fucks that are on WIP and over at 97.5? Those are the guys that were picked last in dodgeball that are on the air. And those are the guys that got hit in the face with a dodgeball when you guys were playing dodgeball. And they don't like guys like me, and they don't like guys like Big Joe and Xander messing around in their world. That's why they've come after me. Jason Kelsey, who, by the way, made a mistake at the Ohio State-Penn State game, called the guy the F word. Rhymes with bagging. Thought it was a mistake. Big Sil said something 14 years ago. They keep regurgitating that, like that piece of shit website, Crossing Nobody. Keep regurgitating it like it happened yesterday. Dude, that has to be the worst media source in Philly. They suck off 97.5 and Beasley. Why, I don't know. They get murdered by the stream of WIP. They report half the facts. And it's awful. I go there to laugh. Honestly, I don't care. I have no caring. You know why? I don't have to care anymore. As long as I don't go off the Krause rails, I have no barometer. I have no guardrails. So I'm going to destroy everybody. And I do. Bring it on, guys. Odyssey, iHeart, bring it on. You have nothing. You know why? You're poorly managed. I don't know whose stock is worse, Odyssey or iHeart. 2 cents, 1 cent. I don't know. And then Crossing Broad, they've driven down XL Media so bad, it's trading at 6 cents or some shit. I mean, who are these people? They make it sound like they're winners. It's great because they're coming after us. They got to see, because we've kind of grabbed a piece of the pie. Oh, Pat, I've been on a warpath for 20 years. Such as now. I've been on a warpath for 20 years. Hey, by the way, they don't want you here listening to me. You know the Eagles are going to start some sort of like podcast show You know why? Because of JAKIB. And they're going to try to attract them. You're never going to get the truth or anything out of that place. It's because of what we're doing. Some go like this. Well, these guys are downsized when it comes to talent. I don't call it downsizing. I call it getting rid of the dead weight. So just to make it fair here, Joe Krause won yesterday. Mike Missinelli lost. You know why? This guy's going around texting everybody, telling everybody how shitty we are. All right, Mike. Hey, Mike, keep your job. I thought you were a good dude, decent dude. Very limited in talent, but I thought you were a decent dude. Hey, man, you should keep all that shit over here, compartmentalize it, and then do your show. You don't have to be an asshole every day of your life. And by the way, you're getting fucking annihilated. You look like a child. I mean, guy, your show sucks. You suck. I'm not sure what else to do except but move on. There's my 3 seconds that I wish I just got back in my life. That's not good. There's very few people in Philly. You know who's great in Philly? The fans. Let me tell you something here. You can put, and I'm going to use it, a trained monkey on the air at any one of the shifts in Philly. Get monster ratings. You know why? The fans are the best. It's you that drives those numbers. And the only reason you go to WIP is because why? They have the Eagles. They have the Phillies. That's the only reason. They wouldn't listen to that shit. They're not talented. I mean, they're not good. I hear them. I listen to them. That's not good radio. I've been in the business 35 years. I posted my numbers. I dominated in every fucking market I ever was on the air in. Dominated. Quadrupled ratings. Changed narratives. Changed the fortunes of stations in my career. Not blowing my horn. This is because of what you guys are doing. You know what that is? You're here because I open up the show in the doorway for everyone to come in, and I'm not the most talented guy. But you know what I do? I open the door so you guys can call me an asshole. And we can go back and forth. I think we're more like humans. That's broadcasting. You don't have to be an exceptionally talented guy. You just have to be a genuine guy. That's how I do it. And that's how we all do it. Please hit that like button. You guys are great. I couldn't do this. Hey, a trained SEAL can start a YouTube channel. I couldn't do this without you. You all know that. I've always been as transparent on my shows as possible. You know why I get in trouble? Is because of how I talk, just like this. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And that's right, Kyle. It's the art of sports talk that's been lost. It's the art of debating. You can't debate on them shows now. Here, let me give you an example. Do you think at WFAN in New York right now, they're hammering John Mara for being an incompetent owner of the New York Giants? So they let loose of Daniel Jones today. I don't know who has a worse owner in New York right now, the Giants or the Jets. You see, the Jets are a whipping stick for fossils like Mike Francesa to hit the Jets. You know why? The Jets aren't on WFAN. The Giants are on WFAN. So they're not going to hammer the Giants. Will Barkley be a Hall of Famer if he wins a Super Bowl and another great season? He'll need about 5 great seasons. Thank you, Khalid. I'll tell you, Khalid, one more time. If he started his career in Philly, he's going to Canton. They're never going to bang on the Giants in New York, and WIP's never going to bang on the Eagles because they have them on their broadcast. You never get true sports talk. You will never get it. You will never be able to debate it except here. This is why they hate you. Dude, they've hated me for 20 years wherever the fuck I've been. They hate you because you're here. Do you understand that? Folks, I get on some of your shits all the time, but I want to tell you something. You're not getting it. You are assets to them. And you being here right now infuriates them. It infuriates them that you're listening to me. You see some of these people that come on or on my Twitter, X, and say, why are you listening to this guy? They don't want you here. Joe Rogan has changed news talk as much as Elon. Elon is the modern day William Randolph Hearst. He's changed it. The news media and news outlets like MSNBC and CNN, the reason they're firing people and Rachel Maddow's taking a $5 million pay cut is because they're downsizing because no one believes it anymore. So that article that came out yesterday in Crossing Nobody, the Krauses won. And when you have a guy like Mike Missinelli allegedly attacking somebody like Joe Krause, you know he's lost. You know he's lost. And for the record, I don't have any issue with the Krauses. They have saved my career. Being able to talk to you, and they're the only one with the balls to hire me. I posted my numbers. I have legendary sports talk numbers. They hate me. You see what Crossing Nobody did? It brought a story up of 14 years ago because that's all they got. They hate you. They totally hate you. Hey, one thing is for sure. We go back and forth and we talk shit to one another. But know this, I can't do this without you. And the more you spread the word, the more super chats, the more likes, the more you're going to infuriate people. I've infuriated people my entire career. What I saw yesterday and heard yesterday by Mike Missinelli, what a win for JAKIB. It's an absolute grand slam. It's a grand slam. And that's why we get to talk sports. Incompetence. New York Giants, New York Jets. You're not going to get sports talk hammering the Giants. The Giants have to be the most incompetent front office in all of football with a liar and Joe Schoen, their general manager. For the last 10 years, John Mara has run what I considered one of the greatest franchises, front office-wise, into the toilet. He's not Wellington Mara. I grew up around Wellington Mara. I mean, he's absolutely destroyed it. So even the players are like, Daniel, hey, by the way, I would fire Kenny Pickett and bring Daniel Jones and put him on my practice roster or on my backup to back up Hurts any day and then trade him in the offseason. Somebody's going to get a chance. Why is somebody going to get a chance? Did you see it last night with Jameis Winston? Kudos to Jameis Winston last night. That's his third chance in Cleveland. And he beat the Steelers last night. If you get good coaching, look at Baker Mayfield in Tampa. That's his fourth shot. Jameis Winston might be the answer in Cleveland. I don't see a kid coming out in the draft that's better than him. Why should Cleveland draft a first rounder when you got a guy in the building that can win you ball games? I would give him a chance. Geno Smith, very good, John. If you have good management and good coaching, you're going to get the best. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at all. Sam Darnold's got one of the best records in football. If I'm not mistaken, he's got the same record as the Eagles. Kudos to Jameis Winston. I used to call him crab cakes in Tampa because of the whole FSU bullshit. I actually like the kid. I think he's talented. It's great to see him last night. Jared Goff, another great example. You get good coaching. Carson Wentz is going to get another opportunity somewhere. If Sam Darnold could get an opportunity, Carson Wentz is going to get an opportunity. This show has definitely increased my knowledge of the game. Thanks, Sills Xander. Best chat on YouTube. Des the Jew, you're one of my favorite people in here, man. You know why I love Des the Jew? He gets it. He gets it. You actually think I could say Des the Jew on... Hey, Des, I want to tell you something. You know why I say Des the Jew instead of Des the Hebrew? To piss off the media people. You know I do that for that reason, right? So if you ever had an issue with it, I wouldn't do it for you. But you know I do it for the media people because they're probably gasping for air when I do it. Okay? Des, just so you know. Okay? What, there's no black Jews? Guys over here going like this, he's black. What, there's no black Jews? Sammy Davis Jr., I don't know. Hit the like button, friends. I appreciate it. Super chats go to the top. Hey, I get this. I do it to piss the media guys off. Okay? Black Israelite. Well, you know what they say about Italians and the brothers, right? Kind of the same folks. Seals, you the man. I have zero problems with it. You're my friend, man. I appreciate that so much. Absolutely great stuff. You don't know how I infuriate. Do you know how much I infuriate people? You have no idea what an antagonist people have said I am for 25, 30 years now. Shit, I was an antagonist when I played ball. There's a great article that Rick Riley wrote, Dan Sileo, Mouth of the South, next best thing to the Boz. +1 for quotability, -3 for inciting a riot. That's what he wrote about, Big Sills. That was 38 years ago. All right. Hey, by the way, the New York Giants are a shit show. And I would say this to you. Ask yourself about Daniel Jones, okay? If Saquon Barkley can go somewhere else and be a star, how do you know Daniel Jones can't go somewhere else and be a star? I mean, if I was a front office guy, I would try to do if he cleared waivers. If I was the Cowboys, I would sign him in 5 seconds. I would sign Daniel Jones in 5 seconds if I were the Dallas Cowboys. If I was a team that was kind of floating around the rim and I had a suspect quarterback, I would hire him too. If you're Dallas, how do you not sign that guy? How do you not? If you're the Jets, how do you not sign that guy? How do you know Daniel Jones is not like Barkley? He just needs better players. Hey, do I think Daniel Jones can do what Jalen Hurts does in Philly? Not to that level. But do I think Daniel Jones is better than Wilson Pickett? You bet I do. Raiders, another one, Abe. Absolutely. If Geno Smith can play great in Seattle, how do you know he can't go somewhere Jones too and play great like Chicago? I'm with you. He needs to get the hell out of New York. Come on, you saw Barkley on the Giants. And you saw I never saw he was fucking elite. I thought he was good. That's not true. I never thought he was elite. I thought he was good. I didn't think he was one of the top running backs in the game. I did not. But he was. He's having the best career year here with the Eagles for a reason. That Thanksgiving game is going to be ass. Yeah. Now you're going to get Tommy DeVito versus Cooper Rush. Congratulations, NFL. Way to go. You got the backups playing on a premium day where fans are going to turn the channel. Who's fucking watching that shit? Who's watching that shit? Get this. People are going, Daniel Jones stinks. They said the same shit about Mayfield, Darnold, Geno. All those guys were ass, right? All those guys have contending playoff teams now. How do you know that? Give me a break. We're going to give you our predictions for Sunday. Nick spoke today, not long. I loved how they yanked him off the damn set to get him out of there. I think they had him up there for 2 freaking minutes. Week 12 of the NFL, we'll get into that as well. We appreciate everybody. Supers go to the top. This will be a big game on Sunday, in my opinion. All right, before we get going here, hey, I don't know who's the worst owner right now. Woody Johnson, who just is terrible. 15 years not making the playoffs. That guy doesn't know. Seriously, he makes James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, look like Dr. Jerry Buss, who owned the Lakers when he was alive and winning all those championships. I mean, he makes James Dolan look good. Woody Johnson is such a bad owner. You know what? You know what makes Woody Johnson so terrible of an owner? He thinks he knows what he's doing. And John Mara is being led by his nose. Yeah, we're going to let Barkley go. You know, I know John and Xander were like, hey, what were they going to do with a guy like that in New York if they would have kept him? I don't know. How about building talent around him and trying to build a football roster around him? How about hiring quality coaches? How about getting a top offensive line guy in there? Do you know how important Jeff Stoutland is in the building? Here, I'll make a comment to you, and then we'll move on. Dimes Jones threw for 15 touchdowns in 22. Jalen stinks, 304. There's not one New York Giant or Jet offensive lineman. If you combine the two teams that could start in Philly, including that kid that plays in New York at left tackle, he's not better than Mulata. And that kid's good. Think about that. There's not one O-lineman on both the Jets and Giants that could start at left guard, left tackle, center, right guard, or right tackle that I would take over anybody in Philly. Think about that. That's how poorly evaluated and coached they are. You don't have one O-lineman on both teams. How can you succeed if you're a quarterback in New York? On both the Jets and the Giants. Andrew Thomas could not start over Mulata. I'll take Mulata. And I think Andrew Thomas is good. I'll take Jordan Mulata. I'm talking position for position. I'm not moving anybody. You can have Andrew Thomas. He's a fine ball player, but I'll take Jordan Mulata. Have you thought about hosting X Space? It's like live podcasting, but with direct fan interaction. You could grow your audience, connect more personally, and even monetize through tips. Hey, Sig, you know what I like to do? I like to have my show in a one-stop place where there's a value to me being in one place. I get what you're saying, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But to me, there's more of a value on me not doing a lot of shows, being seen in a lot of places. I turn down shows every day, and sometimes opportunities to do some things. But I get your point, okay? I'm exclusive to you guys and my audience. Let me ask you something, guys. How would you feel about me pimping out my services, going all over the place, when you spend your time and day coming here every day knowing this is where Big Sil's home is? Don't you think I would take the value away of your time? Your time's more valuable than my time doing that. Me pimping myself out like that, I mean, you spend your time here every day. Why would I do that to you? Okay? I want Daniel Jones in Philly. Why not, man? Adding another talented player to your roster is not a bad thing. You can move him in the offseason. He's no threat to Hurts. He's not. But his skills make him able to run Hurts' offense. Yeah. I'm not talking about signing Daniel Jones, making him a threat to Hurts. I'm talking about in case of a catastrophe. He's already nursing an ankle, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a failsafe, right? The Daniel Jones versus Nelson Pickett. I mean, where are we going here? Right? Seals, Becton was on the Jets, and that tells you all you need to know. And Becton's a heck of a ball player. You don't think they'd like to have his ass back? Look at what you get with good coaching with Stoutland. Think about that. Andrew Thomas is a fine ball player. He's not wrong. But he's not starting over Mulata. Between the Jets and Giants, nobody's starting over Landon Dickerson. The Jets and Giants don't have a center better than Cam. Shit, man. You got musical chairs at right guard, and you couldn't pick a guy off those two teams to start over Steen and Becton. And Lane, forget it. He's a Hall of Famer. You don't have a guy like that in the Northeast, including Boston. That shows you how bad management in New York is. You can't develop but one O-lineman in both places. Andrew Thomas. The rest of them suck. That's poor management. Joe Douglas and Joe Schoen. They stink. Shit, Dave Gettleman. He was there 5-some-odd years. He couldn't develop one guy. Jeff Stoutland's got 7 guys. He takes a cast off from Fred Johnson from Cincinnati and turns him into a piece that could be a future piece on an interchangeable guy you can go up and down the O-line with. New York teams could never do that. They're so poorly run and owned. The Jets and the Giants are a shit show. Shit, covering the Eagles versus that is insane. Philly is here. Honestly, Philly's here. And the Giants are like under your shoe. And crazy. They're nowhere near you as an organization. Jets and Giants, nowhere near you. It's incredible. Kudos. Kudos to you, man. That's what makes it fun. Covering the Eagles. Covering the Giants? Do you understand how I would have to act if I was on FAN or that no-listen ESPN station in New York? Do you know what I would have to be doing? I would have to make chicken shit into chicken soup because they would call me in the office and I couldn't hammer the way I'm hammering now. I couldn't tell the truth. If they get some draft picks next year, maybe in the next 8 years, they could be viable. Who wants to talk like that? I'm not that eloquent to talk like that. You suck or you don't. There's no bell curve in being great. Great, suck. Well, he's kind of good. Fuck that. Who wants to be kind of good? Kind of good. I used to tell people this all the time. Hey, Sills, I hope we go 9 wins this year. So what? You're rooting to be NC State? Give me a break. Who wants to root to be NC State? I mean, seriously, those are people that have never been champions. I think that's what it is, too, because there's so few champions that are on the air. Like I said, most of these guys are guys that you smash in the face with a dodgeball when you're playing dodgeball. They probably don't have that game anymore because it's probably something that would be too woke for now for these folks playing dodgeball and crushing a guy at dodgeball. I used to love that. Sills, what's your thoughts on McAfee being signed to ESPN? He always shits on them, and I love it. Yeah, he shits on them. You know why? Because he can. It's a marquee show on that network now. They have nothing on that show which is redeeming for anybody to watch that's worth a shit. You know why they're canceling Around the Horn? You want to know what the wokest show in the history of ESPN is? That's it. That's it. Do you know why MSNBC and CNN are firing these people? They're trying to get away from that because nobody in the election listened to it. They're outrunning it. No one's buying that shit anymore. Browns win looking better now. Absolutely, Raheem. It's a great take. All right. Hit the like button, please. Yeah. Hey, just because you don't believe in what a guy believes nowadays and he calls you racist, you know what my response always is now to you? Fuck you. That's what I say. Before you wouldn't. Now you, hey, dude, honestly. Okay. I'm going to give you my prediction here. All right? There's Sue. This chick refuses to put red bottoms on. Some of the new people in here are probably going like this, Sue. What? Sue, how's Robert Kraft denied the Hall of Fame nomination again? It's criminal. It's a great take. How's Jerry Jones in the Hall of Fame and Bob Kraft, who's won? Let me see what Bob Kraft has won. So Bob Kraft bought the team from Victor Kiam, the Gillette guy, and he took the team to the Super Bowl with Drew Bledsoe, with Parcells. So there's one AFC championship. Okay, there's one. They went to, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, they were 6-3 under Brady. So if I'm not mistaken, they have won 11 AFC championships and 6 Super Bowls, and Bob Kraft is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I don't know about you. And he's on the competition committee for TV rights and generating those television contracts. How is that guy not on in the Hall of Fame when you got a guy like Paul Tagliabue who denied what CTE was, and he had a hairdresser that was dealing. We'll talk to Jason Cole today because Jason's on the Hall of Fame committee. He's one of the 50 voters. Think about this. How in the world is Bob Kraft, who's won 11 AFC titles and 6 Super Bowls, the winningest owner in the Super Bowl era, not in the Hall of Fame? How is he not in? Because he's a Trump guy? Well, shit, most of the owners are Trump guys. I don't know what it is. I have no idea. Is it that fiasco that happened a couple of years ago in Orlando? I don't know. You could put a guy like Paul Tagliabue, who was the biggest criminal in the history of the National Football League and by the way, I'm going to bring this up with Cole. How is freaking Paul Tagliabue, who denied health and health benefits to NFL players by saying there was no CTE, and he basically had a freaking hairdresser running the brain and running the CTE investigations in the Pro Football Hall of Fame? That special blue ribbon thing that they put him in on. As a matter of fact, that's a great tweet after the show. Paul Tagliabue is the biggest scumbag commissioner in pro football history. Who's more important to sign, Bond or Becton? Bond. I would agree Becton because he could be discontent in future right tackle after Lane. Is that a hot take? No, I don't. Listen, I just think that Becton, because you got a coach that's developing so many great players in the O-line. I mean, you guys don't develop linebackers. You develop O-linemen. You are an O-lineman factory. Like when they have a conveyor belt and they have an assembly line, the Eagles are the premier place. You're the Ferrari of developing offensive linemen. The Eagles are the Ferrari. They're the company Ferrari when it comes to developing offensive linemen. Those other guys, getting rid of Steen. Dude, I guarantee you, Steen and Becton go somewhere else. Are they going to be that good? I don't know. I put a lot of value. In Jeff Stoutland. A lot of value. Please hit the like button. Okay? All right. Give me a score this weekend. Rams and Eagles. SoFi. I think the point spread right now is either 2.5 or 3 points, which is basically, if you're looking at it, it's kind of a push game because home team gets 3. Where are you guys right now with a score this weekend? For the Sunday game, again, Eagles have to fly to the West Coast. They'll probably take off on Friday, today. Pat says 30-24. Big D, 27-24. 28-14. Crowley, 27-24. 30-27. Expect some points being scored. That is not a push. It would be Eagles. Yeah, okay, guy. Whatever. Home team usually gets 3 points. A lot of the old heads in Texas call your preseason, Sileo. But I told them, at least you made it. I enjoy your show, and it's number 1. Eagles 26-20. David, thank you. Yeah, you know what they say, David. I was in the league 3 years. Active one of those years. So I was in the league 3 years. The average career for an NFL football player is 3 years. So if I was average, okay. If I was average, there's only 16,000 NFL members that are alive today. And there's only 28,000 that have ever played the game. And I'm one of them. All right. I'm good with that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm good with that. Hey, Sills, you were a brilliant college player, and I was. You were average NFL guy. Okay. I have no problem with that. 56 player taken. I don't know. I was drafted ahead of Jason Kelce. Is it that we don't develop or we don't keep good? Well, I don't know if you don't develop your draft choices. Most of your great players have been free agents, UDFAs. Look at this guy. Bust. Yeah. Huh. I was drafted. Okay. Eagles are going to take over this. Oh yeah, they'll be. Hey, let me get to my takeaways. Eagles are going to take over the stadium. Got to be a lot of robots and empty seats. Score 28-24 Eagles. Reyes, scared Sileo going to call ice on him. Who's Reyes? Michelle Reyes? Feels I went to high school with Pat Evans. Remember him? Is that Princeton, Illinois? Steven, are you from Princeton, Illinois? Pat Evans. Steven, is that what that is? That's years and years and years. Hey, you have to. Hey, Pat Evans. Oh yeah, maybe I don't know. You're an asshole, but you made it into a sport that's insanely hard to get into. You want to hear something, Mike? You have a better chance of being an astronaut than you do a pro football player. Remember that. Wallingford, okay. I like that. Flex goes back to, fuck does this guy know? Love your show, Big Seals. Appreciate you keeping it real. I keep it real because you keep it real. Seal's an asshole, but our asshole. Okay. This hurts to say, but I think we're going to get belt to the ass this weekend. We lost to Kirk. Stafford is better. Stafford is better. Philadelphia. What is this? Seals is a good dude. I don't come on here to try to downplay his takes. Wish the channel the best. I just try to steer the Eagle fans away from unnecessary narratives. Hard on the ears. I don't have a problem with that. Okay? Chris Long said that Eagle fans bought 52% of the tickets. Dude, WCBJJ, the Rams and the Chargers don't have fans in LA. There's no such thing as sports fans in LA. They are the worst sports fans in history. I'm not saying California people don't like sports. There's few of them. The rest of them are more worried about their Gucci bags and their fancy wallets. Not that I don't have a fancy wallet, because I do. I missed the super chat, Xander. I'm going to get to my takeaway here in a minute. Don't let the JV high school bums talk crap to you, Sills. You're national champ. Thank you. No, I'm good. Dude, I'm good. Dude, I love what I've accomplished. I've said this before. I would never wish to be anybody else other than me. I'm very happy with what I've done. 34-year broadcasting career, played professional sports in multiple places, drafted in the National Football League as a high pick. Do you understand the 56-player take? And you know where I'd be drafted today? Carolina Panthers weren't around. The Jags weren't around. Do you know where I would be? I would have been a second rounder, and I came out a year early. If I played my senior year, I'm a top 5 pick. A beautiful wife and a kid too. Biggest blessings. Yeah. I posted a picture of my smokehouse wife back in the day. She goes like this. She got on my shit about it. Dude, I married a smoking chick, and she gives me a ton of shit every day, though. I mean, I've never hated anybody more in my life, and I've never loved anybody more. Crazy. LA has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to sports teams. Yeah, and hey, this is why, for me, I want Philly to win more. Okay, I do. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, I got it. Okay, so that's more of a Connecticut thing. I don't. All right. Yeah, big sales, man. You know who broke my sack records in the state of Connecticut? Dwight Freeney. In high school, I had 60 sacks. It's stupid, man. I did it. My sophomore year, I was better in high school. I had 60 sacks in 4 years, and we won a state championship, 3 city titles. We only had 30 guys on our team. They were all recruited because we went to a Catholic high school. And I played with 3 pros on my football team. We had 3 NFL guys on my Stanford Catholic team, which was crazy. Okay? Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. All right. Here is my takeaway. A fairly new West Coast, and last season was my first at SoFi. Couldn't believe the amount of green. It was insane. Oh, yeah, the smoking in the place. They allow you to smoke weed in the joint. Kind of crazy, actually. She would. I would. Dude, we are lucky to have him. Absolutely, man. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate it. Flex is a legend. He is, man. All of you guys are. Sills, you're the man. Man of reason. Great work passion. Absolutely. That's right, Khalid. That's the only people I hate are Nazis. I don't hate anybody. If I were Stafford, if you guys had Stafford, it would be insane. Okay, here we go. Here is the Big Sills prediction for Sunday. Hit the like button. Supers go to the top. All right. Huge crowd of Eagle fans will be at SoFi Stadium. If you've ever been to that thing, really the opposing teams that have great fan bases overwhelm it. And Eagle fans will not be denied the majority of the tickets that will go into that place. There aren't really any Rams, or there are not very many, if any, Charger fans that go to those games. You're going to see a ton of green jerseys. I can't wait to count the amount of Jerome Brown jerseys that I will see at SoFi Stadium. Okay? I mean, Eagles, Steelers. You see the Steeler fan base last night in Cleveland? You talk about two great fan bases, the Browns and the Steelers. That was iconic football fans, weather, game. I loved that thing last night. That, to me, is what football and fan bases and everything you have all about. The weather, the game, the way, the toughness, all that shit was great last night. That is what I call fall football at its finest. The weather, the hard play, everything last night. I mean, just fabulous. That's the kind of football that keeps you pinned. It was a great game going back and forth, and I agree, whoever said that. Hey, by the way, that Browns win, even though you were playing Jameis Winston, you were playing, Deshaun Watson, that don't look that bad, especially shutting down that offense. Now, they didn't have Chubb, and they didn't have Winston in that game. Two big losses. Chubb was great last night. By the way, you know who else was great? Myles Garrett was insane last night. Was absolutely insane. There is no doubt this is going to be a real challenge for the Eagles on Sunday, this Rams team. That snow game last night reminded me of the Shady game in 2014. I thought immediately of that. Hey, am I right, Devontae? That Shady game, wasn't he like the only guy that didn't slip in that game? Everybody was sloshing around in that game, but except him. He was the only guy in that game that didn't see. He was making these insane cuts. Hey, am I remembering that right? I was like this. What kind of shoes is this guy wearing? He was never sliding around. Everybody else was falling on their asses, and McCoy was making all these moves in the snow. I mean, that's the thing I remember about that game. Devontae Smith, do we have the latest yet? My opinion, I don't think he's playing. And if he is, he'll be limited. That's going to limit your offense. Let's put it here and say it. Without Devontae Smith, and they'll probably activate Britton Covey, you're going to go into this game with one wideout, and that's going to be AJ. Those other guys, I don't fear them. So your passing game will be even more limited, which means this is the key here. Don't let the Rams get out to a 14-0 score, because then you're going to have to try to throw the football. And here, you're the shittiest first quarter football. This is where this now becomes a factor. When you lose a player like Smith, you're more limited in the wide receiving and passing game. Because why? Do you go to Goddard more? I heard Xander say that this morning. See, my problem with Hurts' ability, so you're telling me the only reason that you're going to go to Dallas Goedert is because Smith is out? You don't have a prolific passer or a great passing game when that is the only option when everyone's healthy. When everyone's healthy, you should be going to everybody. Not going to people because, well, Smith's out, so now Xander Krause exposed your passing game this morning. He exposed it, and I don't think he knew it. Hey, is this going to be more of a Goddard game? A Goddard game should be every fucking game, not because Smith's down. He exposes it, and he sees it, and I know he realizes it. Well, do we get Goddard more involved? So wait a minute. If you have Smith that's healthy 100% and you have AJ that's healthy 100%, you don't go to Goddard because why? Your quarterback can't get the ball to him. That's why. This guy doesn't read and progress read. He can't read defenses. He can't spread the ball around. He's predictable. It's a high school passing game. Every time you guys say, let's get Goddard involved because Smith's down, you're basically indicting your quarterback for not being able to spread the ball around when everyone's healthy. Don't you see that? Stafford doesn't need help. He's still, look at what he did for this Robinson kid. When Kupp and Nakua were down, this other guy's on pace for 800 yards and 9 touchdowns. He got him the ball. I mean, it's an indictment of your guy. Right now, the Eagles are one-dimensional. Okay? Defense not allowing 14 points in the first. Stop the bull. Well, you're not fucking scoring any points. You're killing us with the stick. I don't have a stick, dude. Anthony, a stick is not genuine and is a bullshit artist. I wouldn't know what a fucking stick is if you told me. Are you crazy? Dude, that's crazy stuff right there. And Anthony knows better than that. A stick. Like, I'm smart enough to come up with something like that. Holy shit. Got to be kidding me, guy. Who in the world would think that I'm smart enough to come up with a fucking stick? You know what a stick is, Anthony? I'll tell you. Banging on LeBron James and calling him an overrated player. And he's the all-time leading scorer, and he's got 4 rings. And he's won championships in 3 different cities. And MVP finals in 3 different cities. Okay? And by the way, Spike, you know what triggers me? My galamad not being cooked right, or my scoongeel not being served right, or I get agita because the sauce has too much water in it. Sports talk doesn't trigger me. Hey, this guy here thinks I get triggered over somebody talking shit about a take of mine. What a dumbass. Guy, I get triggered when my scoongeel and my galamad aren't cooked right, or my lobster's overcooked or undercooked. That triggers me. Jesus criminy. I'm triggered. Sorry, honey. That doesn't trigger me. That doesn't trigger me. But this will trigger you. I think the Rams are going to score in this game. And I think they're going to score first. And the quarterback with the Rams is supreme to the guy you have in Philly. I have 28-21 Los Angeles Rams. in this game. I got the Rams winning 28-21. How you doing? 28-21. LA Rams. Worst first. Hey, don't fall behind Stafford because you won't come back. Because you don't have the quarterback. And now that Smitty's out, you're going to have to go to Johnny Wilson. Or you're going to have to go to Britton Covey. Or who's the other guy? Jahan Dotson. You're going to have to go to that guy. How you doing? 28-21. Los Angeles Rams win the ball game. Push their record to 6-5 on the season. Okay? Let's see. I'm not reading that. I don't know. Xander owns this. Wow. Driven young man. Interesting. What did his father do? What gives him the passion for this interesting dude? Yeah. They got a great passion for making money in sports. Is that really hard? Wait a minute. The Krause is like sports and making money. Same as Pat McAfee. I don't know. Is there some sort of like magic bottle here or something? I mean, I'm missing this. Hey, Sills, what do you think of my opinion only? But I like the show. I will know yours. I think that Carter reminds me of 99. Yes. Now it's early. Richard, I said it when he got drafted. I see the same skill set of Jerome Brown, and now he's starting to fulfill it a little bit. Okay? Wait, Sills, you picked Washington last week. I did. I picked Washington to win the East. That's why I picked them last week. Yeah. By the way to hang around with a rookie quarterback for 3 quarters. Your quarterback looked like shit in that game. How you doing? You was wrong last week, Sills. What's going to be your excuse Monday afternoon? You were a better team? Are you looking for a shtick? I'm curious. A shtick? Don't have one. Okay. Where's that crow play, Big Z? Ain't no crow play. This will be a Rams victory Monday. Be prepared. Your quarterback's not good enough. And now that Devontae's not in, I'm gonna take the Rams. You got a limited passing game. You're gonna need a passing game to beat this passing team. And I don't think you got it. Personally, I think your passing game is worse than it's ever been. You're about to see Cooper Kupp have at least 150 yards and Puka 125 from those 10-yard off-the-ball defenses we play. They dominate in short yardage. They absolutely do. And the quarterback gets the ball out, third best in the league. Your guy sits back there like he's got glue on his hands and the ball stuck in his hand. I'm expecting 5 sacks on Sunday with that front four and those edge rushers the Rams have. I'm expecting 5 sacks. You know why? Not because the O-line's not good, but because the quarterback holds the ball too long. He's the 7th worst on taking sacks. Get this. Here's what Senorita doesn't get. The element of having him out there is still a decoy. Having Johnny Wilson out there doesn't do shit for me. I could put my worst guy on Johnny Wilson. Devontae Smith's going to grab my attention. Johnny Wilson and Anus Smith is not going to frighten me. Hey, so you're going to go into battle against the Rams with Anus Smith, Johnny Wilson, okay, and what's the other guy? I actually like Britton Covey. He follows me on Twitter. Holy shit. Hey, I can't wait to see. Is this the breakout game for Anus Smith? Sills, when was the last time you picked the Eagles against a good team? I can't remember the last time they played a good team. Oh, yeah. A sack is like a turn. It is, man. I disagree with Marcus Hayes. Sorry, Spit. I disagree with him. Hey, Spit. Here's why I disagree. Anytime you stop a drive because the quarterback takes sacks and loses yardage, I don't know. To me, it feels like a turnover. When you're driving and you got a 10-play drive and your quarterback takes a 15-yard sack and takes you out of field goal position and takes you out of scoring position, I don't know. And plus you give up field position? I don't know. The defense held Burrow. They didn't have Higgins in that game. And Washington to 17, 18 points, respectively. Okay, well, this ain't – dude, they did a nice job on Joe Burrow. They did. It's a quality win. But Matthew Stafford is also a great player, and he's got better skill set guys. Burrow didn't have a run game. The Rams do. They've got two quality wideouts and a tight end who actually shows up and plays. You got a quarterback who goes to people when people get hurt. Not because he can read a defense. Oh. And Xander said it perfectly today. I was listening to that shit and I go, does he understand he's indicting his own quarterback? Because is this a bigger Goddard game now that Devontae's out? Well, dude, why isn't Goddard big in every game? It's because the quarterback can't find him. Do you understand when you say that? You would never say that with Matthew Stafford. Well, hey, guy got hurt, so he's going to go over here. That guy doesn't pick and choose. He goes to everybody who's open. The difference between Stafford and Hurts. Stafford goes to people who's open. Hurts goes to people who are available. There lies the difference. By the way, that's a fact, not an opinion. We should have been bitch-ass Rams out of their place. We beat this same Rams team last year. This team is better, and we have better coaching. I don't think your team is better than a year ago. I think your team has more upside this year, and I think they've played well. I do. I think you've got a real good roster. I told you that on Monday. I think you got a C quarterback. Stafford throws open guys. Jalen needs guys to be open. Correct. Hurts is not a good passer. Hey, Jalen throws a really great deep pass. So fucking what? What's that got to do with winning? Deep passes. Like explosion plays win Super Bowls. They don't. Ask the Patriots and the Chiefs. They don't win with explosion plays. They win with explosive players. I'm here to help. How you doing? I think I heard the same crap from Sills right before Washington Eagle game. Hey, man, by the way, the only reason Washington didn't fucking beat you is because they're not a better roster than you. They shut your ass out for 3 quarters. Don't act like you were fucking blowing them out for 3 quarters. You weren't. You were a better team in the end. You were. They shut you out in the first half. Washington shut you out. Also, we didn't take 3 points either. That's your shitty coaching again. Miami held the Rams without a touchdown, and you're saying we're going to give up. Dude, you struggled versus the JAKIB Warriors. Kill it. Would have been stripped of that. That's the case. We need help. Scared to go at Xander yourself. Sorry. I must have dropped in on a useless conversation. Consistency and a really good defense and a whole lot of luck with health and balls going your way. Absolutely. That's why you never know. And unfortunately, like Senorita and some of the other people, Like Nick said, get this. Your own head coach says this. The NFL is an imperfect league. It changes constantly and rapidly every day. But according to Senorita and other people, if you have a take, you're supposed to have it. Even the Eagles don't believe that shit. Those are people who kind of play like fantasy football. And you know that electric football guys you put on a board and you plug it in and they all run into one another? That's the kind M. Reyes and Senorita watch. You know that plug it in and they kind of slam into one another? That's what those guys do. Okay? This guy probably will pick Carolina. Carolina still has an NFL team, Anthony? Hurts can't find Goddard because he has to find his friends first so he can get his bonus. No comment. Sills, you talking about the Tecmo Bowl. Hey, Sills, get ready to eat another crow dick sandwich with extra crow dick. That's funny. Please hit the like. That's actually very funny. Hey, J215 Hood, you might want to change your name because someone's watching now, and I'm sure that losing broad or nobody broad, crossing nobody, is probably watching. They might think that that's racist. Don't make anything like the Eagles up. Calling Howie a glorified CPA, calling me like a Jew hater or something. I don't know. You never know nowadays. People lie, right, Mike? Every time Dallas gets going, he gets injured. Yes. The beauty of having a running game is Jalen doesn't need to throw long. The beauty of having a run game is the only thing that's saving you because your pass game wouldn't. Sills, you're already well-known racist. Ain't shit. Yeah, that's it. I'm known for that. Hey, make sure when Michael comes on, you tell him that. Or when Tony Dungy comes on, you make sure you tell him that. Yeah. Hey, watch this. Fuck you. McVay's daddy, Vic Fangio, going to show the youngsters how it's doing. Okay. Jojo, having a run game gives you a better opportunity to throw long, idiot. Yes, Sean. Yes. Hurts will make the Hall of Shame. I want your opinion. Why did the Eagles pay all that money to wide receivers when they had and always had with Hurts a run-based offense? Okay? I would have loved D. Hunter. Ask yourself this, dude. Yes. Hey, Onsen, why are you paying $51 million when you're a run team and your pass offense is 23rd? Yes. So wait a minute. You're a run team, and you're paying $85 million for 3 guys. And you're a run team. Economics well spent. I mean, 50 for the quarterback, 35 for the wide receiver on the left, and 25 for the other guy. Why are you spending that money? Actually, I'm wrong. Excuse me. Here, let me do this better. Hold on. 35 and 25. That's 60 and 50. It's $110 million. You're spending $110 million on 3 guys and you're a run team? Solid. $110 million on 3 guys. And you're a running football team. Woo! Yeah. Well, one thing is for sure, Cosmo. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out you don't have a good passing game. Let's just say this. You don't have to be the smartest clam in the ocean to figure that one out. Do ya? Hey, let me spend $110 million and we're a run team. Just imagine Dungy with this team. Tony Dungy's a better defensive guy than Vic. But Tony, my problem with Tony was, would he have a quality offensive coordinator? Clyde Christensen is not a quality coordinator. And that was his guy. And that was always one of the things that I was critical of Tony on. But when Tony got to Indianapolis, he had Tom Moore. That was because Bill Polian made him. So if they made him and got him an OC, Tony would be a great coach for Philly. Okay? The top two guys we paid are not even top 20 on the receiving list. We just run a triple option like Georgia Tech. Don't bring up Georgia Tech, please. That's a sore spot with me right now. I take Tom Brady's word over yours. What's that? He came out and said Jalen is playing at an extremely high level. I think his opinion is a little more knowledgeable than yours. Well, let me expand on that too. Tom Brady says that quarterbacks today are not being schooled and taught the fundamentals of progressive reading, including your guy. Jalen Hurts is, get this. Joseph says that Jalen Hurts is playing at a high level. Really. He takes the seventh most sacks. His passing offense, his third down is horrific. And he's up and down every game. Okay. Actually, the only guy playing at a high level is your running back. That's the Giants and Cowboys. How's it going? No pay. Yeah, you're right. Hey, let me say this. Jalen Hurts is not a good passer. And you're going to have to be a passer Sunday. Against the Rams, we will have 3 wide receivers with over 50 yards receiving and Goddard over 40. So who are those receivers? Britton Covey? Who else? Johnny Wilson? John Dotson? 3rd-round pick for that stiff? Who? I know this. That Robinson kid, Nakua, and Kupp are going to have quite a day with that soft-ass defensive coverage you play. Tampa and LA are very similar. Guarantee same results. Especially with our lack of edge rushers. Losing AJ would have less impact than keeping Reddick or getting Hunter. One of them would have been a godsend. Calcaterra. I forgot about that, Steph. Seals eating crow come post-game Sunday. Oh. Hit the like button. Rams, 28. Eagles, 21. Devontae out. How you doing? Supers go to the top like Anthony. This man is not a racist. Thank you, Anthony. You're a good man. Hey, Anthony. Okay, he's just an equal opportunity asshole who loves to trigger fans. That's what makes for a great show. Anthony. Anthony, can I tell you something here? I think it's not just triggering Eagle fans. I think it's triggering everybody. I trigger my aunt. You don't know the arguments. You know my aunt. Hey, do you really want to know something? Prior to my show today, I'm a Aunt Betty who watches the show. You know what she said to me? Hey, don't you think it would be better if you rooted for the Eagles on Sunday? More people would like you. My aunt wants people to like me. Okay? See, I want people to watch it. I kind of do. But my aunt is like this. Don't you think it would be better with the honey instead of the vinegar? And I'm like, Bet, I'm a product of your dad. Do you think your dad had honey when he threw out all the insults that he had and he made you cry on Christmas and Thanksgiving? I mean, my aunt used to leave our holidays crying. Here we go, killing everybody. And Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. And I'm not kidding. My grandfather was never that guy. Oy. Ugh. Seals, if the Birds win, JAKIB should get you a Jalen jersey. Why would I want to wear? Get me somebody that's good like Saquon. Why would I want a Stiffs jersey like Jalen Hurts? Does anybody have Seals' record for all the picks he did this season? I'll do it right now. And I'll be honest about it, which I'm always anyway. I'll do it right now. I'll give you a running total, what I picked. I don't have a problem doing that. I don't care whatever the record is. I'll tell you. Let's see here. I'll be totally honest with you here. Eagles schedule. Let's see here. Eagles schedule. I'll put the total down now. Win, loss, big sells. I picked the Packers. I lost. I picked you to beat Atlanta. I picked you to lose New Orleans. I picked you to lose against Tampa. I picked you to beat Cleveland. I picked you to beat New York. I picked Cincinnati to win. I picked you to beat Jacksonville. I picked you to beat Dallas. And I picked you to lose to Washington. So I'm 5-9. That's what I am. Here, I'll do it again. I'll do it one more time. I picked win, loss. I picked you to lose to Green Bay. I picked you to beat. No. I picked you to beat. I thought I picked Atlanta. I think I picked Atlanta. I picked you to beat New Orleans, and I lost that one. I picked Tampa to win. I picked you to beat Cleveland. I picked you to beat New York. I picked Cincinnati to win. I picked you to beat Jacksonville. I picked you to beat Dallas. And I picked Washington to beat you. I'm 6-4. That's my record. How you doing? 6-4. 4-6? No. Once again, asshole. We'll do it again. WL. I picked you to beat Green Bay. Oh, I picked Green Bay to beat the Eagles. I lose that. I picked Atlanta to beat you. I took that. I win that. I lost the New Orleans one. I thought New Orleans would beat you. I'm 1-2. I picked the Bucks to beat you. I'm 2-2. I picked Cleveland to lose to you. That's 3-2. I picked you to beat New York. That's 4-2. I picked Cincinnati to beat you. That's 4-3. I picked you to beat Jacksonville. That's 5-3. I picked you to beat Dallas. That's 6-3. And I lost Washington. That's 6-4. That's my record. How you doing? 6-4. 6-4. How you doing? And this week, I'm picking the Rams to win 28-21. I'm not lying. How am I lying? Who in the fucking world would pick the Giants to beat you? Who in the world would pick the Jags to beat you? Who in the world would pick the Cowboys to beat you? I picked the Bucks to beat you because I said that. I picked Atlanta to beat you. I picked Green Bay to beat you, and I lost that one. How you doing? Shields is a big ass like, yeah, okay. Hey, watch this. No. Sorry, guys. But I got the Rams. Hi, yeah. You do that, Xander. Hey, just like Trump. Fact check away, assholes. Woo! Fact check away. What time does Xander come on the show? I don't know. Sills don't lie. He tells the truth. You can't handle the truth. That's right. They can't. Get this guy. Here's a guy that has no idea what the fuck he's talking about with my best friend. Do you know how many arguments we used to have in our locker room over politics and everything? He was my locker mate next to me and one of my best friends. I love you too. Hey, by the way, the thing that made our locker room great was this. We all were different personalities. We all didn't think alike. We all had our own convictions. And we had wrestling and fighting matches in our locker rooms, but we loved one another. And I love every one of those guys that I played with to this day. Every freaking one of them to this day. We would have the most intense arguments over the dumbest shit. And by the way, I'm assuming that's Weezer. Jerome Brown took me to a Klan rally, and he made me break the Klan rally up with him. And I didn't even know what I was going to. Now that, Anthony, I might concede that. I could be 5 and that could be, instead of 6-4, it could be 5-5. I don't know I think the Atlanta one. You're right. I think the Atlanta one. That could be, because I know I picked New Orleans. Okay, I think you might be right, Anthony. Jerome would hate the way Dan talks about the Eagles. And then Jerome would come on and fight me on the air, and we would have a great show. But you know what we would be in the end, Jay Brown? Unlike you, we're still going to be best friends. Are you under the assumption that I'm a different guy than I was when I was 17 years old and 18 and 19 and 20 years old? When I was one of the biggest mouths going in sports? There's a reason my team's voted the most hated team in American sports history. I was on it with that guy. But we were the most remembered college football team of all time. Hey, it's one thing to win a national title. Can you tell me who won a national title 5 years ago? But can you tell me who the most hated team in American sports history is? The 1986 Hurricanes. And there's a reason for that. It's called being memorable. You know why? The men on that team made it, including the head coach. Press goes, nobody cares about your 86. Hey, I don't really. Everyone else does. I don't really. I didn't make the list. They're the ones that run. Hey, get this. Mr. Perez. Mr. Perez, you're right. They're the ones writing about me 38 years later. You're right. Can you imagine that, Xander, before I bring him on? You're still writing about Big Sills 40 years later. How you doing? Come on now. Irvin, Herm, Coach Johnson, Merrill Reese. All have called Hurts elite. The only thing elite about that guy is that he's got a great necklace that he wears that I love. That's an elite necklace. Other than that, that guy's arm is about as elite as Tim Tebow's. Hey, he's a glorified Tim Tebow. Without the penis snipping, because that's what the guy does in the Philippines with his family. I don't know. Don't ask me. Holy shit. All right. Look at what I did today. Because today is a football Friday. I want to show you something before I bring Xander Krause on. See this? I usually put like a question, a couple like hit notes. I wrote nothing down today. You know why? After listening to that show this morning and all the Eagle love, holy shit, man. I was waiting for the banners and the pom-poms to come out with him and John this morning. And Xander indicted his own quarterback this morning. He goes, maybe this is a game for Goddard. Why? Because your quarterback lost Devontae and you got to go to somewhere else because he can't figure it out? All right. I've taken a shit on him enough. Without further ado, the co-host of Birds 365, and do not forget, Sunday, pre, halftime, and post, he is the guy that pulls us around the table and gets us all together without John and I calling each other motherfuckers. He's the guy that does that. He is our friend, the man who bobs and weaves through all the dirt and everything going on in the Philly media. Him and his dad are the Floyd Mayweathers of sports talk in Philly. Big C, Xander Krause.
What's up, Big Sills? Football Friday, baby.
Look at this guy here. See this guy right here? This guy is Floyd Mayweather. And you know what these guys are doing, these Krauses right now? They're walking out of the ring with the trophy in their hand.
We're not yet. We got we're still in a pre-fight build-up right now, so I will refrain from much commentary. Okay. But I will tease everybody with, I cannot wait, for those who are aware of everything that goes on, I cannot wait to share everything with everybody, because one of these days I'm going to be in a complete open book about everything. And many of the people don't want that. And I will be a complete open book. But for the sake of where we are at the process right now, I will refrain from commentary other than that. I don't know who saw yesterday what happened with JAKIB. And we had a court case with Mike Missinelli, a former contractor, not an employee, for those who think that he was an employee, a former contractor with JAKIB. And he verbally and attempted to physically assault the founder of JAKIB, Joe Krause. So an interesting day nonetheless yesterday. What do they say, Big? What's the old saying? Complicated business, Big Sills. Complicated business.
Like I said, these are all the guys in our business that were the guys that got smeared in those dodgeball games where you just threw a ball in their face and was the last guy picked on a pickup game.
Yeah.
That's who these guys are and what they do.
But like I said, I will tell the full story. I will take questions. I will answer every question that somebody has when that time comes on all of these events. So I'm looking forward to doing that, but can't do that today, man. Can't do that today.
Hey, one last thing on that. Hey, Mike, keep my name out of your fucking mouth.
Yeah, you might want to say that again, man.
I mean, I don't know what
fucking
that
dude's a stifler.
Dude.
All right, good stuff, man. Look, and by the way, I did double check. There was one game I thought you got wrong for sure. You did pick the Jags game. I thought you picked the Jags for some reason.
No, I think it's the Atlanta one I got wrong.
You picked the Eagles for sure. I got to go and double check the record. I'm thinking you're a little bit worse.
No. I'm either 6-4 or 5-5.
Big Z's 9-1.
Okay. Congratulations
to it's easy. I'm picking the Eagles.
Once again, 9-1 a year ago, 8-2 now. Oh, I mean, fuck. Guess what? We're going to go down that road again. We're going to go down off the cliff again here. How you doing? Hey, by the way, so you indicted your quarterback today.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Sileo thinks you indict your quarterback by saying it's a Dallas
because your
Goedert game with
quarterback
no
doesn't
Devontae
utilize
Smith.
all the talent around him.
What's that?
Your quarterback doesn't utilize all the talent around him. The only reason that you said, hey, do you think this is more of a Goddard game is because Devontae is probably not going to be available. Instead of going like this, hey, do you think they're going to spread the ball around?
I don't agree with that sentiment at all.
Really?
There's a basic order of operations, a number 2 and a number 3. Number 2 is going to get more targets than the number 3. When the number 3 becomes the number 2, there's a chance he has a bigger game.
Here is what usually good quarterbacks in the NFL do. Whoever's fucking open gets the ball, not priority 1, priority 2, priority 3. That's what good quarterbacks do.
You know, with all due respect, this is where I think you're right. I mean, I don't think it's a problem to say that about you. Like, there was a clip floating around today of Colt McCoy, right? I don't know who he is, some former NFL quarterback. He sucked. All right, right, great. He sucked.
Very, very average to below.
What's that?
Very, very average.
Yeah, he sucked. All right, but there's a clip going around of him, and he's talking about Jalen Hurts doesn't do anything special. And I'll disagree with that sentiment that he doesn't do anything special. But everybody's attacking him on Eagles Twitter. It's like, Colt McCoy sucked in the league. I'm like, I don't care what Colt McCoy did in the league. I care about what he's saying, and he's not entirely wrong. You look at this passing offense. You look at where they're ranked. You look at the guys on the team. You look at the receivers, the running back, the tight end, the offensive line. It's fair to say, especially as an Eagle fan. I mean, shit, I think Eagle fans should be saying it more. It's fair to say, well, we're underperforming a little bit in that area. And that's on Jalen Hurts, and he's got to be better in that area. It's okay to say that. It should be at least okay to say that.
Yeah,
I think where I don't agree is that he's a complete stiff. I think the dude's a special talent. He's a human highlight reel at times. He puts the team on his back. He's a great leader. He's a winner. He wins a lot more than he loses at every level he's ever played. But you're always going to have a certain gripes with him, and I think the passing game is the one fair one right now.
I'll say this. For McCoy to say that he doesn't do anything special, you're not watching the game because he doesn't.
Agreed. That's what I said. He doesn't watch the game like we watch the game. We watch every snap.
But to say that guy has been the benefit of Bama and Philly, I'll tell you what that means. That guy's never been on a shitty team in his entire life. And the time he was on a great team, he got demoted because of some of the inefficiencies that he still shows today. I mean, big candid, Xander. You got demoted and you were the Southeastern Conference Player of the Year and you've only lost 2 games? How's that possible? You got replaced by a guy who was a freshman in the building. They were demoted. He was a freshman that year.
He was a freshman. Yes, he was.
You got demoted by a kid who was at some high school in Hawaii.
Yeah, but come on, man. I'm not going to – look, that was the nature of who he was as a player at that time. And by the way, the game circumstance there was that Georgia had a tremendous defense. We were not winning that. If Nick Saban didn't bench Jalen Hurts in that game, we were not national champions that year. So it was the right move. But it was a different time. I mean, look, I'm not going to use 2017 or 2018, whatever it was, to criticize Jalen Hurts.
But it still shows some of the efficiencies he has. He's up and down in the passing game.
And it's always been a process for him. And I think he's gotten better at it every single year. And this is the one year I think, it's taken him a little longer than I think we'd like for it to see, because I think we all had expectations with Kellen Moore that it was going to be this passing team. We're still not a passing team. In fact, we're far from a passing team. We're well into the bottom half of the league when it comes to passing the football. Now, we've also been ahead a lot in the last 6 weeks. So we haven't had a pass like we would if we were behind. So we still got to say that, and we'll see what he's able to do. I think this week's going to be a good test. By the way, I missed your score. What was the score you gave?
28-21 Rams.
28-21 Rams. All right.
All right. You know what? Let me ask you this, and I'll get your prediction. And with all the super chats, by the way, we'll read all the super chats at the end. I promise you guys have been sensational. Please hit the like button. Xander, do you think setting the protection for the first time has been more of a challenge for Jalen, identifying where the blitz is coming, than what is being underplayed? That has taken more time and him holding the ball in the pocket more on something that he hasn't done in 5 years since he's been in Philly. I mean, could that be one of the reasons that this thing's coming along slow? Look, I'm not trying to make excuses, but I don't think that that's out of the question that this guy is learning how to set protections and audible, find the open guy, try to read progression reading.
Yeah, there's a lot of new stuff he's doing this year. You're not wrong. I mean, I think that's definitely a part of it, and I don't have a problem with that taking time. You know, this is where me and you differ.
I'm going to tell you why I do.
I have a problem
with it.
I have a problem with where he is right now, which is where we agree. Where we differ is that I think he can get better at this, and I think he's going to get better at this. And it is the first year. Look, you bring up a good point. It's the first year he's done all this crap. I mean, he had Kelsey taken on. Nick Foles has famously said that I wouldn't have been successful without Jason Kelsey because I needed him to do what he did at the line of scrimmage in order for me to be a good quarterback. Right. So Jalen Hurts is, he's taken more of that on this year. And what I will say is, dude, there's no excuse. Like, this is where I don't get Eagle fans who aren't able to look at this objectively and say, guys, we have AJ Brown, we have Devontae Smith, we have Dallas Goedert, we have Saquon Barkley, we have a top 5 offensive line. Like, this is a dream team. This is a dream offense for quarterbacks. This is a dream offense. So it's not bad to want him to be great because that means you're going to get the most out of the team. If you don't get the most out of the team, we're going to look back at the year 2024 in the future and say, damn, we wasted that talent.
Not just 2024. You're going to look at it 2022, 3, and 4. That you passed.
22, I don't look at it as a failure at all. You lose at the end of the year, and I mean, come on, it's tough. It's a tough loss, but say that
all 3 years you don't win a Super Bowl in that 3 years.
No, I get it, but I'm not going to say 22 is a massive.
You ripped McNabb for 5 years.
Nah, 22 wasn't a failure. Come on, Sills.
Okay, well then, shit, you got to give McNabb credit for getting his team to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess you're right. If you get to the end of it and you never won one, then you start to look at that 22 year and say that was our shot, and you let that go. But
here, this is why I have a problem with what it is right now, because I have a problem organizationally again, which goes back to this. Okay, so if he's doing all these new things here, my God, one of the greatest disruptive things that will happen is if somehow Kellen moves on and you got to go on to another coordinator here. Now you have to take 3 steps backwards again.
Kellen's not going anywhere. Where's Kellen going?
If they get to the Super Bowl, dude, he's going to become a head coach
somewhere.
No, he's
not.
Really. So let me tell you this. Matt Nagy had 2 shots to become a head coach. Okay? Matt Nagy is not Kellen Moore. I don't think Matt Nagy.
I don't think Kellen Moore's done enough.
Nagy's been a coach.
No, listen, dude, relax. I think it's going to take another year for Kellen to get the head coaching gig. I don't think he's been good enough. The offense hasn't been good enough this year. For him to get that job in 1 year. Look at Shane Steichen. It took him 2 years.
Nathaniel Hackett got one.
Yeah, but how long was Nathaniel Hackett a good coordinator with Rodgers? Not 1 year, bro. Not 1 year. He's on his 3rd team in 3 years right now.
Dave Canales was 1 year in Tampa.
Yeah, maybe. He's that, but he's got that. He's got, he was
that David Tepper guy. I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm taking that job.
Everybody loves the new names, and Kellen, to his point, he's young. He's like a young guy, but he's not a new name anymore. He's been around now. People know who he is as a coordinator. So I don't think Kellen's going anywhere. I'm just saying that honestly. I don't think he's going anywhere this year. I mean, we could win the Super Bowl. I don't think he's going to be gone.
Well, we'll see. Okay. How about this?
There's some good coaches in the cycle this year.
Yes.
And how many openings do you think there's going to be?
Here, I wrote it down.
Probably at least 5.
5? You freaking nuts. Watch this. Here's what I wrote down on the openings.
Jets, you got the Jags, probably. You got
here.
Panthers, I don't think they're going to fire that guy yet.
Where the heck is that?
The Bears, that's
here's what I got. I got the Jets will be an open job. The New Orleans Saints have an open. Dallas will be open.
True.
The Giants will be open.
Yep. I don't know. Apparently, they're going to keep him. We'll see what they do, but that's what the owner said. What's that?
The Raiders will be open. I think they're going to fire Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, well, he's been terrible.
After Cleveland, you know what, man? Would you fire Kevin Stefanski, 2-time NFL Coach of the Year?
I don't think he can do that.
Deshaun Watson deal's not his. That was Jimmy Haslam's deal.
Yeah, but at what point? I mean, at what point does the chicken come home? You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, they paid everybody. They don't have a bad roster, Cleveland. When you look at Cleveland's roster, it's not bad. Now, they're a little weak in the skill position department. They don't have great receivers or anything there, but their defense is stacked, man.
I think Chicago's going to have an opening. I think they're going to fire Matt
Oh,
Eberflus.
that's a guarantee. That dude is he might be the worst coach in the league. Eberflus.
If Kyle Shanahan doesn't make the playoffs, what do you do in San Francisco? Do you bring him back?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not firing Kyle Shanahan, but I stay up to date a little bit with the 49ers just because I like their media. I mean, I like looking at their looking at the takes from their team, but they all want him gone. I don't know why you would move on from him, but
how about Cincinnati with Zach Taylor?
You know what Kyle Shanahan strikes me as? Early Andy Reid.
Yeah.
He sucks at managing the game right now. Great play caller. He's got a good offensive mind. And
he works well with John Lynch.
I think the difference between Shanahan and Andy is that Shanahan is stubborn as hell. Too stubborn. Andy is open and receptive, at least seemingly from the outside, to new information, to new styles, to new quarterbacks, to new all these things. Shanahan's like, this is what I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing, and anything else is wrong.
This is going to sound crazy. I think Andy Reid's losing those tight games in Philly helped him develop Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and I think Kyle Shanahan has to lose more. And what I mean by that is this guy's so set in his ways, like you said. You know what causes you to change? Failure.
Yeah.
Okay? Failure. Big game failure, too. Andy Reid was a big – will we not agree this with Andy Reid? Hey, you want to hear a stat on Reid this weekend? If Reid wins this weekend, and he should win this weekend, it'll be the 19th time that he's won 10 games in his coaching career. The 19th time that he's won 10 or more ball games.
Who's that, Andy Reid?
Andy Reid. You're talking about over 200 wins, man.
Did you see it? Now, apparently, I don't know if this was true. I saw somewhere yesterday that it leaked out. He signed a 5-year extension in the offseason.
Yeah,
and I didn't see that reported anywhere.
You know what they're paying him now? They're paying him $21 million.
I saw that. 5 years, $100 million. I saw.
Yeah. Hey, how about this? Don't you agree that Andy Reid was a big game failure in Philly?
And early in his career, he was. Yes, he was.
Okay. That's what helps him be more patient with that guy.
Right.
In Kansas City.
Hasn't Shanahan kind of had a lot of failures now?
He's starting to pile
eventually
up.
You got to learn. I mean,
that guy had 6 years of failure, and he had 14 years of it in Philly.
Yeah, that's true. That's a mistake. I mean,
that's
why I wouldn't move on from him.
He's a different guy today than he was in Philly.
Yeah, but I think sometimes both sides benefit from a fresh start. I'm not saying that's the case in San Francisco. Like, I'm not sure I could say Andy would have turned into what he is here.
Let me say this to you. Do you think Patrick Mahomes would have the same success with Kyle Shanahan?
No.
I don't either.
No. Nope. No.
Because he's too set in his ways.
Patrick and Andy are a literal match made in heaven because both of them are, in a way, off script. And they'll do things that are unconventional. They'll do things a different type of way. And it's like Patrick Mahomes. It's the way he plays the quarterback position. He'll throw sidearm. He'll throw on the run. He'll throw behind the back. He does all these crazy things. Andy, in a similar kind of way, that's how he coaches offense. He doesn't rule anything out. He is very receptive to all new ideas and stuff. And
the coaching style for Reid and Mahomes, like you said, is off script. You know where else that applied? In New England with Belichick and Brady. You had a defensive-minded guru and a young kid who was an absorbing sponge who knew how to process information. Right. And again, Xander, it's not about having the right coordinator. It's about having the right mix on what you said, off script guys.
Right.
You're trying to find, how many times have you seen you line a coordinator up with a quarterback and you go, God, I thought that would work. Like you thought Nathaniel Hackett and Rodgers would work in New York, but it failed in New York.
What a bust. Aaron Rodgers let me down. I thought they were going to be okay this year.
Me too. I'll tell you this.
Watson, you were correct, my friend. Take your flowers on that. He told me that the Jets were going to.
Sean, we're going to read all the super chats at the end, I promise. Please hit the like button. Let me ask you this one here. The loss of Devontae Smith this Sunday means what?
Well, it means you got to work in. You got to spread the ball around. You got to get your lesser target. You got to get Jahan Dotson more involved.
Spread the what around? Dude, that guy can barely spread butter on a pancake. And you're telling me he's going to spread the ball around Sunday? Come on, man.
Why are you
Why
are you so out on thinking that Jalen Hurts can do anything different than what you've seen in an 8-game sample size?
I don't see anything in the passing game that makes me feel comfortable that he's a good one. I think he makes occasional plays that are great, and I think he makes occasional bonehead plays, and that's not good enough to win Super Bowls. That's just not. I think his swings are too high.
See, this is where I think you're wrong, dude. First 4 weeks, you're right. 7 turnovers, you're never winning with that. Last 6 games, 6-0, he's got 2 turnovers in 6 games.
Yeah,
that's why you're. I agree. Sacks are drives killers. I'm with you on that.
Only reason
it put your offense way behind the sticks. But
the only reason, though, that the limited turnovers and no turnovers, besides the 2 in Dallas, is because he threw the ball 14 times one time.
Yeah, but who cares?
My point is, you're going to need a passing game Sunday. If that team gets a 14-point lead on you, you're not going to run the ball.
Look, you're not wrong. If we get into a game where we're way behind, I think you might be right. But
you have the worst first quarter offense in pro football.
Yeah, we do. But actually, I think the Rams is down there too. They're just pretty bad early in games, apparently, too.
The Rams issues are more injury related.
They were early in the year.
4-1 over the last 5.
Yeah. I don't know. I just have a hard time. I mean,
boy, you really give this guy more credit in the passing game.
I'm 26. I'm 20. Are you telling me that the way I do what I do now will never change? That's a foolish comment. I believe it's the same with Jalen Hurts.
You think he's improved from a year ago as a passer?
We've already went over this.
Do you think he's improved since 22 as a passer?
Probably not.
Well, now that's 2 years removed. Is he going to get any better? And when you take Devontae out of the starting lineup, I'm sure that helps.
Well, he's gotten better in areas, okay? This is where he's gotten better. This year he's gotten better against the blitz. His deep ball is good. I know I'm with you where it doesn't mean that much. Who cares that you have a good deep ball? But I'm saying he has improved in that area. And, I think he's learning the process right now of what it means to be a quarterback at the line of scrimmage. Get your team to the right plays, read the defense, pick up pre-snap reads, send guys in motion, do all those things that he does, call hot routes, all those things. I don't think Jalen's ever done that before. So with that, when that acclimates, when he gets better at those things, what's it going to look like? Remember, being a quarterback is a game of centimeters, millimeters, literally. So if you don't have a spot on locked in on how you're going to read a defense when you go up to the line of scrimmage or what play you want to get in, if there's any inch of hesitancy in that, it's going to make you look like a dumbass like he does when he holds the ball for 6 seconds. If he gets better at those things, I think it will all start clicking. Exactly, Yale. Timing. It'll all start clicking, I think. I don't think let me tell you this. When I watched Jalen at Alabama, and now this is a long time ago, when I watched Jalen at Alabama, I questioned whether he could make any throw, let alone the throw. Any throw. When I watch him now, I don't question him about making throw. I think he can make every throw.
I don't think across the middle he can.
It's the process of getting there and making that throw, getting to the right read, picking up the blitz on time, figuring out what the defense is in. I think Jalen will get there. I really do. Now, he's got to do it this year. He's got to do it this year.
I think he overcompensates for his deficiencies, and I'll tell you what you just said.
No,
he's gotten better against the blitz, and he takes more sacks.
No, he doesn't. Actually,
he's 7th in the league in sacks.
Yeah, he's got 28 sacks this year. He had 36 total last year.
So wait a minute. He sees the blitzes now, but he's taking more sacks this year. I'm not sure that I'm getting at. Sounds like the same issues to me. If you know where the blitz is coming from, but you're taking more sacks now, is he smarter because he's not throwing it up for grabs, so he's not having the turnovers and he's taking the minus yardage? That's why I disagree with Marcus. When you take sacks and you have minus yardage and you take your team out of field goal position and scoring opportunities, to me, that's like a fucking turnover, dude. Yeah. I mean, I disagree with that. So
yeah, but you're acting like that happens 4 times a game.
Jalen Hurts has gotten better at reading blitzes, but he's higher in sacks taken against this year. I'm not sure I see where the improvement is on that.
I hear what you're saying.
If you're taking more sacks, how are you picking up blitzes better?
Well, because his passer rating's better, his completion percentage is better. He's getting when he gets the ball out, it looks good.
And that's
there's moments, yeah. But
still,
do you not put that into the learning curve of what he's taken on this year?
Jesus Christ, we're half a decade in now.
Dude, it's a new coordinator. It's the first time he's taken play calling at the line of scrimmage.
Let me give you a Xander, folks. Well, that's the process in Philly, because that's the way they do business. Well, we're 5 years into this thing now.
I don't know. I just don't agree that we're going to sit here and indict the guy, that he's never going to get better. The guy is a proven
He hasn't gotten better in the passing game in 2 years.
We've never had a more winning quarterback in the city of Philly. Ever.
Thank God for the run game.
Whatever's the reason for the winning. I'm not going to sit here and jump ship on the guy that's made us the most winning team and say at 26, he's a pile of garbage and we should throw him the fuck out.
Never said he's
going to get better.
He never said he's a pile of garbage. I never said
you're insinuating it.
No, I'm insinuating he'll never win. Here's my problem with Hurts. Do you think that guy could put 5 great games consistently together against – wait, you don't need 5.
Yes, I do. I've seen him do it.
Lately? You've seen him put 3 games together against 3 quality teams that you're going to have to be balanced in the pass and running attack in the postseason for you to win. I haven't seen that.
Well, since you're like the most obsessed person with 2023 in the world, we could go back to that season and look at the 3-game stretch there where he beat the Cowboys, who obviously had 12 wins last year, the Chiefs and the Bills.
Okay.
That's a 3-game stretch. Jalen was effective and good in all of those games.
Okay. And then now take me after, and let's go from the time when they started losing to the time where they are right now.
Give
me 3 games.
Silio's favorite period of time to use.
Let's do this. Since they caught up with this guy, and this guy hasn't been able to evolve.
Oh, now the collapse
as a passer in this
league. That collapse wasn't all on Jalen.
Let's take a look at this here. Let's see if he's played 3 games in a row since the time when they started having their fucking nuclear meltdowns. And you're trying to tell me that this guy here has played consistent football against 3 good quality football teams. Let's see here. Schedule here. And I'll pick him out. Maybe he has. I don't know this. I'm doing this off my shit here. Since the nuclear meltdown, here we go.
You're not impressed. There's not one part of Jalen's game this season that impresses you. Say one thing. Anything. It can be anything. I'm thinking of a new segment idea, everybody, that we got to do once a week on the show.
Okay,
all right, tell me what you all think. So, Sileo hates somebody programming.
Wait a minute.
I'm going to ask the chat for some opinions.
Watch this. Since we
I've been thinking of a segment idea.
Eat a dick.
30 minutes a week. 30. You got 4 hours a day. It's 20-hour show a week. 30 minutes a week. 30 minutes a week. Sileo can't be negative on the.
Wait.
He can only say things that he's
running good,
positive about. That's it. 30 minutes a week.
He's running well this year. Let's see. San Francisco. I'm trying to pick out 3 games since the meltdown. 49ers, Cowboys, Seahawks. Okay, well they've lost. Giants game. Giants were turds. Cardinals were turds last year. So last year he didn't put after the meltdown. He didn't play one quality stretch of football games last year whatsoever. Not one towards the stretch and into the playoffs. He did play one stretch where he had 3 good games against 3 quality teams. Now let's take a look at 2024 against quality teams.
He's
by the way
winning by what
you really haven't played quality teams in any kind of stretch whatsoever.
I watched an 8-2 team lose to a 2-8 team last night.
Let's see here. Here we go. So let's see. Green Bay, okay, great. Atlanta, good. New Orleans is a stiff. So Let's see. Did he play good in Green Bay? There were a bunch of turnovers in that game. Did he play good in Atlanta? No. So that's not a stretch. Let's see. Cleveland, New York, Cincinnati. That's not a stretch. Those aren't winning teams. Jacksonville, Dallas. That's not winning teams. Washington won. He hasn't played a 3-game stretch, like I said, in over a year and a half. And you're making it sound like this guy's put back-to-back games against quality teams, and he hasn't.
I never said that. I said he's got.
Oh.
I just prefaced this entire segment with saying we have to be able to look at our quarterback and be able to want more. I think that's fair, but it's also you also got to look at what he does well. Jalen is a very competent young man. He's a good quarterback. He's a great leader of a franchise. He wins a lot of football games. He adds a +1 to the running game. You think Saquon Barkley would run this good with other teams?
What? Barkley is if Barkley's a product of the fucking roster, don't you think your quarterback
Barkley's a product of Jalen Hurts.
He is not.
Yes.
Wait a minute. You think Hurts' passing game is benefiting fucking him?
No, Hurts' running game is.
Running ability is helping.
Hurts' running game is helping him.
Correct. The running game, not his passing game.
Running game specifically.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Okay, good.
Way to improve something that's been great for 14 years in Philly. So what's the things you said? How about this? Let's do this. What's the qualities that Jalen Hurts as an athlete and player, not that winning stuff, and I'm talking about his skill set.
Well, winning matters.
It does. What does his skill set? What does his skill set bring to the Eagle huddle that is impressive to you?
Jalen does a ton of stuff that's impressive.
Okay, what's impressive?
Well, he's one of the best athletes in the world, clearly.
Okay, athletes in the world. Welcome to the NFL, but go ahead.
I mean, yeah, you're looking for me to tell. Look, you sound like Colt McCoy, who, if it's not wowing you as a conventional quarterback, it's not acceptable.
Like Mike Missinelli. Don't call me Colt McCoy.
You're not. I'll never degrade you to that level. I'll never put you down at that level.
What's this? He went to the low-hanging fruit. He's a great athlete. Really, fucking welcome to the NFL. Tell me exactly. Oh, he squats 600 pounds. Okay. Give me quality that you think he has as a skill set player that he brings to the huddle.
Well, he's not a skill set guy. I mean, he's not a guy that you look at and quantify on skills alone. Never has been.
Oh,
that's a Justin Herbert.
Is there one redeeming thing he does as a player, as a skill?
Well, he's clearly a competent enough passer to play quarterback in the NFL.
What?
Passer, yes.
Okay, well, I can name 50 guys.
You think anybody can just throw up and throw for 3,700 yards in the NFL?
Yeah.
No, you can't. That's a crazy take.
If Baker Mayfield could do it, he can.
Okay? Baker Mayfield's good.
If Baker Mayfield can throw for $4,000, your boy can't.
This motherfucker's backing me in the corners right now. All he wants, but yeah, he's not the guy that has the biggest arm or the most accurate arm in the world. Or what? You know, you're putting me in a corner. There you go, Jay Brown. He scores touchdowns.
He scores touchdowns. Okay, that's a good passing yards. Let me take
Prince
a look.
Says he's relentless.
He's relentless. Okay, I'm talking about a skill set, not a mindset. Okay, try to here.
Okay, what would you say?
Wait a minute, Sam Darnold. Okay. Hold on here. Fucking Sam Darnold. Let me see what this guy's going to do this year.
All right, Sean, thanks for helping me out. Because Stills put me on the spot and I froze up like a freaking snowman.
You did not.
Xander, let me help your ass. Hurts is mobile. He has a decent arm and he's tough as nails and is usually available for his team. There you go.
That's not a skill set. Being healthy, that's not a skill set.
Like he says, I folded.
It's not athletic. Wait a minute. I'm healthy. I'm there all the time. That's not a skill set. Hold on here. Wait, this is better here. So Sam Darnold this year is going to throw for 4,100 yards and 32 touchdowns and 10 picks.
It's the Colt McCoy logic.
Get this. Wait a minute.
If you're not a conventional quarterback, you don't get any credit. It's bullshit.
Do you think anybody can throw for 3,700 yards? Yeah, I do.
Flex, thanks for always being honest with me, man. I appreciate you. Flex says Sean didn't help Zay.
Holy shit, dude.
Oh,
you gotta get. Hey, tell me one more time, just
Colt
so
Sileo.
I know. What's the one thing he does, you say, that's like really a great skilled thing he does? He runs.
Really?
He scores touchdowns. I'll take that.
Yeah, I think he throws fine. I don't think his throwing's a problem at all. Got good arm strength, good deep ball,
Oh,
straight to the hash marks.
good deep ball.
AJ
Fuck.
Brown, 2
Every time I
straight
hear
years of
that, I
1,500
laugh.
yards.
Doesn't
How did
Chandler throw a great
if
deep
Jalen
ball?
sucks so bad at passing, how does
I,
AJ Brown have 2 years of 1,500 yards?
I don't know. Because they target. I know why. He's third in targets.
Oh.
They target him, and they're become predictable because it's like you said today, this morning. You go like this. Hey, when Devontae's not out there, fucking, hey, who gets all the targets? This guy gets this all the time on the sidelines. You're watching.
Eagle fans, I'm sorry. Silio's got me on the ropes.
Hey, wait a minute
This
here.
chess match is over.
Here's
Checkmate.
AJ
Checkmate.
Brown. Here's AJ Brown on the sidelines. He's tapping him on the helmet. Hey, man, I'm open. You need to get that ball over to me. Okay. Shit. Don't forget Goddard. Oh, fuck him. Hurts moves the chains. All right. That's another. That's a good one.
Jalen Hurts is just the biggest stiff in the planet.
I didn't say that. He scores.
Well, that's what you're implying. You're implying that.
Look, that's the Joe. Hey, he moves the chains and he scores TDs. Okay. What else does he bring?
Well, what more do you need?
Okay. I need more to win Super Bowls.
Okay. Well, Aaron Rodgers has all the talent that you're talking about. He got one of them.
Okay. Well, it's hard to win those things. Ask Peyton Manning.
Jalen was pretty damn close.
So was Challenger from taking off and making it to the moon.
You gotta be fucking kidding me. Sileo just
Hey,
deflated me on a Friday
I'm trying to figure out what the hell he does well.
Smitty's been ruled out for Sunday. Thank you, Prince.
Oh, that'll help. 21 Rams. Oh my God. This is really fun. Hey, man.
Oh, I'm happy you're having fun. I'm not having this is not my favorite of our segments.
Hold on for a minute here. Is Goddard still in, or did he fall off the did he fall off the train table and hurt his leg or something? Is he gonna hopefully he's playing?
Look at David Cleary. Thanks, David. You think I'm not aware of this shit? He said, why do you fight him about Jalen's passing? This dude is eating you up, Xander, getting you frustrated. I'm not frustrated.
Listen.
Because he knows what gets people mad.
Hey, David,
thanks, David. Captain Obvious.
Xander's had a real long day.
Yeah, you're
he said other things on his mind. He might not be as focused as normal when
you're
battles.
taking advantage of that, which I can only commend you for.
I'm not gonna lie. I got a guy who's wounded and I'm all over him.
Yeah. Down in the foxhole. Who do you want with you in the foxhole? The guy who takes the gun and shoots you in the back of the head, puts you out of your misery, or the guy that gives you the care package and revives you?
All right, tell me what you see this weekend, man. Give me your take, and then we'll get.
I think Eagles win this game. I think they out-talent this team. I don't think the Rams have it yet. I mean, look, I think they're a good team. I think they're a competent team. I think they have good players. I don't think they're a full team yet like we are. I don't think they have the full thing.
Because of defense, right?
I think at the end, yeah, definitely because of the defense. And their offensive line is a little bit suspect. I know Kyron Williams, you spoke highly of him. He's been meh this year. Really hasn't been great. 3.9 yards a carry. He's been okay. Now, I think some of that
yards?
Huh?
He's on pace for 1,300 yards and 14 TDs. You think that's bad?
Miles Sanders had that too. I mean, it doesn't wow me that much.
Okay. All right.
What's the score? We win the game. I have 30-24 Birds. I think Eagles get a lot of
close.
Yeah, I think it could be closer than my score prediction, to be honest with you. I have a 6-point win, but I think the way the game plays out is I think the Rams are going to get points early. And then I think they're going to go into a lull zone. Like Vic Fangio is going to make some adjustments to him. And I think by that fourth quarter, I think that's when the Birds are going to take the lead. And then I don't think they'll give it back to him. But I do think, you have McVay, you got Stafford, you got Kupp, and you got Puka. I think they're going to come out. That first drive might look like the Bengals' first drive, where they come out and they go 12-13, come down the field and score a touchdown right away, just because they have the benefit of game planning. And then once Vic sees what they're trying to do, he'll take it away like he's done all year. So I have 30-24 Eagles winning, moving to 9-2 on the year.
If I'm the Rams, I'd take the ball if I win the toss.
Yeah, if I were the Rams, I'd probably do the same thing. But I'm not the Rams.
I think if the Eagles get a lead on them, That's is going to be catastrophic to
But
the
what
Rams.
makes you think the Eagles are going to get a lead on them? Eagles haven't gotten a lead on
I
one
don't
freaking
think
team this year. It's another real
they're
deficiency
better off
that we got
script
to
because
fix.
the quarterback is an off script player.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The script doesn't look very good though.
No, but when
they
he
come
gets
out, they
off
start
script,
throwing the ball. It's like, dude,
oh, I
throw the
know.
ball.
You know what they're doing, which is I think is a coaching flaw. You're putting a script for a guy who's off script player. I mean, that's why that first 25 looks shitty, man. He's not a script. Stafford's a script player. Those kind of quarterbacks like that are script players. He's not. You know what I would do? I would run the same kind of offense Monken runs up in Baltimore. Let the quarterback go to the line of scrimmage and let him make those calls like Hurts did in 22. You know why Hurts was so effective in 22? The game plan was in his hands. Now the game plan's in coaching hands.
Yeah, but it was also effective because he was only being asked to read half the field.
Yeah, but when he made that RPO, it was on his call, whether to keep it, whether to throw it. That was all him.
Yeah, but it was in a way it was an illusion because if he chose to keep it, it was only going to half. You only had to read half the field. So it was like, we'll put it in your hands, but we're dumbing down what it is you'll be choosing.
To a Super Bowl.
Now it did. But I think the league is caught up with that. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I don't think you could run that. I don't think we could just bring Shane Steichen back, run that same thing, and be like, okay, we're going back to the Super Bowl. I think the league is smarter than that.
Where you're right is Baltimore even knew that, and they had to.
Good to know. I got one thing right today.
They had to. By the way, all supers will be red.
This is a Jake Paul, Mike Tyson beatdown, except
but wait a minute. Mike Tyson wasn't allowed to throw uppercuts in that fight, so I don't know, man. He was limited in that thing. Did you hear that? He couldn't throw uppercuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he wasn't allowed.
Was that a rule? That was stupid. I didn't even watch it because that was after the Thursday night game, so I just crashed.
Hey, he wasn't allowed to throw uppercuts in that thing.
Yeah,
Tyson, one of his best punches, uppercuts.
That's interesting.
Yeah, he couldn't throw the uppercut in that. All right.
I'm sorry to the people of JAKIB Nation that I've let down today because you just you ruined our quarterback, and I basically had nothing to say for it.
We'll see. We'll see what he does Sunday. Let's see if this guy. We'll see if Tyson Hurts shows up on Sunday here. Hey, let me ask you this. So you think the matchup this weekend, before we get to the Supers, the matchup's going to be McVay and Stafford versus Vic. That's your game.
That's the game right there. Yeah. I mean, look, this defense, dude, because I understand what you say about Jalen and the limitations that could give a team. It's going to come down to the defense. If the defense plays like this, Sills, all year, we can cry. You could cry with the passing game all you want. We're just going to keep logging wins. We're going to keep logging wins because that defense is holding teams right now. I mean, look at
good
what
quarterbacks. And good quarterbacks.
Yeah, look at what we gave up 18 points to the Commanders, 6 to the Cowboys, which I'm not going to toot my horn at. It's 23 to the Jaguars, but wasn't there a turnover touchdown in that game? 17 to the Bengals, 3 to the Giants, 16 to the Browns. Bucks, we got shelled for 33. Saints had 12 points. Falcons had 22 points. Like, you're not looking at a defense that's given up a boatload of points. We're top of the league in what we give up in points. So I think that if the defense can keep doing this, man, we're going to be in a good spot.
I think the effort's been quality. I just don't think the opponent has. I mean, think if you look at it, Green Bay, Cincinnati, I'll tell you what. I mean, I would give the Cleveland thing, but they didn't have Chubb and Winston, gave them an opportunity to win. So that was a different dynamic, but still a good defense with Myles Garrett on that side of the ball. And their secondary was really good last night against Pittsburgh. So I'm not off that win either. The Cincinnati one and the Washington one, I would say, were some takeaway games for me here. All right, let's get to the Supers, dude. We got a ton of them. By the way, we appreciate everybody bringing them in with us.
By the way, your pick for the game is shitty.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. 28. Wait a minute. Let me double check here because we have CTE here. So let's see here. 28-21. Rams, bitch. And shitty. By the way, Devontae being out, yeah, that'll help. That'll help Tyson Hurts.
Good, go to Saquon.
Oh, that's right. He's got to go to Saquon now. And when everybody's healthy, hey, who's healthy? Oh,
wait,
go to
look at what Sileo does, right? He uses Saquon Barkley to take away from Jalen Hurts, but when you say Derrick Henry's helping out Lamar Jackson, my God, look at Lamar Jackson.
Because Saquon's the engine. Hurts is the caboose. Okay? And in Baltimore,
the offensive line's the
Henry
engine.
is the caboose and Lamar Jackson's the engine. There's a difference. Your boy's being pulled to the finish line. Your boy's being pulled to the finish line. Holy shit, like a dead carcass out of a lake.
Oh, fuck off with that. That's bullshit.
Let's get to these super chats.
Oh, that is complete BS.
Holy shit. Let's get to these.
If Danny Dimes was our quarterback, are we 8-2?
Hey, by the way, I'd like to see him on the I'd like to see him as a backup in
No, I don't. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, wait a minute, I see. So Barkley didn't benefit being on a good team like Philly, but Danny Dimes, who was on a shitty organization, wouldn't benefit being on a good team.
I hope he has a great. I hope he figures it out. I don't want you in Philly. Go figure it out somewhere else, dude.
Probably so. All right, let's do those supers, man.
Although Kenny Pickett sucks. I mean, we ain't. If that's why I say to you. I mean, you rag on Jalen Hurts all the time. If Jalen Hurts goes down, we're talking about a bum ass football team.
Nelson,
a bum ass football team.
Yeah, the kid from Passaic ain't getting it done.
No, is that where he's from?
I don't know. He's from Jersey.
Xander getting owned and killed today by Sills.
He's got shit on his mind. I'm gonna give him
it's all right, Jack, because I was logging a lot of wins straight there. It's good to let the big guy get one.
Oh,
here, yeah. You gotta let him. You don't want to knock him
you
out
know
of the ring.
Hey, you know what the easiest win is? Bring up that Tyson Hurts guy, and that's an easy win.
Rent free. T-Bone, thank you, T-Bone. 2 days, man.
Awesome.
Thank you for your contributions, bro. Yep. Appreciate it a lot.
Hey, thank you, T.
He says Jalen doesn't read D well and follows play progression as designed. He also rarely looks 5 to 10 yards to midfield. Teams know and is why midfield is open. He prefers his high-risk long ball, take 5 all day, or run. If Birds can pressure Stafford, Birds win. I think he's right about that, by the way.
Yep.
Jalen loves the underneath or the over the top, and he doesn't like the intermediate game, which is really where you got to where most quarterbacks butter their bread.
When you agree that Brady and Mahomes are intermediate passers, not deep 100%. Passers.
Oh, that's mostly what they are. Brady, forget the long ball. Brady was intermediate and dump off, and that was Brady.
What the big goof was? He was check down Charlie.
Yeah, he was, but he was. I mean, come on, we know he was better.
I got it.
Yeah, T-Bone, thanks, bro. Polska, what's up, my man? Thank you, man. Polska says, I can see Jalen Carter feasting in this game and seeing Q locking down those so-called receivers of the Rams. Eagles 30, Rams 20.
Yeah, and so let me get this right. So Mike Evans had almost 100 yards and the other guy had 70. And they had 2 good receivers, and you have lockdown corners, and people.
I'm not letting you gaslight me into telling me that our corners are not playing.
No, wait a minute. When you had a decent set of receivers, a really good set, and a quarterback who knew what he was doing, you didn't lock those guys down.
Well, we play zone, so we don't.
And they crush you.
Quignon, but if you put this super chat,
they crush you.
Johnny Mack would say Q's not locking shit down. He plays zone corner because playing his zone corner is not locking people down.
That's right. You're right.
Devin, I'm getting to you, brother. Don't worry. Devin,
you don't have lockdown corners.
No, we play zone. That's our defense. We play zone, but they're playing good in the zone. Absolutely. Devin Shanahan checks in. Appreciate you, Devin. He strives in RPO because it's one read. It's simple. Make it easier for him. He will succeed.
That's right. They run that shit at St. Joe's.
Devin, at what point do we want more than that, man? We can't have a quarterback that's one read.
Hey, Devin, that's why St. Joe's wins a ton of shit. They run that RPO over there, man. One read for the quarterback, and they win all them city championships. That's right.
Are you sending strays at the high school now?
No, I'm telling you right
Best
there,
team in
man.
the state. You had a dream playing for a high school program.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. I'm all right where I was.
Oh, yeah. Stanford. Yeah. Love Connecticut. Shitty Connecticut.
I had 3 NFL guys on my fucking team, too, guy.
Yeah. We have plenty on St. Joe's Prep.
No, I had him at one time. How you doing?
We have ours at one time, too.
I played against Steve Young.
John Runyon, DeAndre Swift, Olamide Zacchaeus. We're all on the same team.
I played Steve Young in high school, too.
Okay, cool. What do you want, a cookie?
No. You don't want to hear something? No, we never beat that team. Let's go ahead. We never beat Greenwich. Fuckers. We tied them once. Hated it.
You guys didn't even win state champ?
No, we won state championship. No, we couldn't beat this Greenwich team because they had every.
Well, if you couldn't beat Greenwich, then you weren't state champs.
No, we're class S. They were class. I think they were in a higher. Okay. They were 3A. They were 4A.
See, St. Joe's Prep, I think it's 5A.
Yeah, I think, but we played 5A teams.
Yeah, okay.
And we beat them. How you doing?
Big Sills.
I had 30 guys on my team. We'd walk
whatever.
You know what they used to do to me? They used to throw fish at me.
Whatever lets you sleep easy at night. All right.
They would throw fish at me, and I'd turn around and go, "Fuck you," and we'd kill teams.
Whatever lets you sleep easy at night. Chris Scott checking in. What's up, Chris? How does Smitty and AJ Brown have over 1,000 yards receiving and over 80 catches apiece the last 2 seasons if Hurts relies on one guy? That's what a great question.
How can a quarterback like Carson Wentz throw for 4,000 yards and 33 touchdowns with a guy not over 500 yards receiving on his team? Gee, I don't know. Hook me up. Help me out. Carson Wentz had 33 passing touchdowns, which is a franchise record. He's the only 4,000-yard passer, and he didn't have a 500-yard wide receiver on his team. How'd he do that? Look, no comment over there from the peanut gallery.
I love you, but I am done with you today, dude. You are driving me up a fucking wall. I might mute the last 2 hours of the show when I get off this thing. You got to be kidding me. If you need a break or a super chat, I'll be MIA.
I can't.
God. Anthony Wilson, what's up, my man?
I'm very disappointed in you. I'm going to have to say I'm disappointed in you.
I'm a little disappointed in myself. I'm not, normally sometimes I go back.
I'm going to give him a hall pass. He's not himself, man.
No, that's bullshit. There's no hall passes in life. Anthony Wilson checks in. Sills, Jeff George had mad skills, but he was not a winner. It takes intangibles. John Madden used to say the game is mental, work ethic, and tangible.
Jeff George, Jalen Hurts. All right. I got you. God.
Anthony, you teed him up for that, dude. You put that ball on a tee like it was T-ball, and you put it right in Sills' strike zone.
I got you. I get your point, though. Go ahead, please.
Oh my God.
Hey, by the way, you guys better be kind to Jason Cole because Jason's one of the voters for Eric Allen.
Jason doesn't give a shit what these guys say. It's what I love about Jason. I love Jason because he just believes in his takes, and I love that about him. Dez says the only person that can shut Sills up is Jalen, and that's the way it should be. Yeah, Dez, it certainly is not me today. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what, Dez the Joe. You know what the problem is? People throw shots at me, Xander, and everybody. Shit, my name's being thrown around the damn courthouse for about 4 hours yesterday.
Got an honorary mention yesterday.
You talk about a guy sitting in his office doing his show. I'm taking strays in Norristown. I mean, come on now, dog. What's going on here, man? Imagine me, Big Sills, taking strays in a courthouse. I'm sitting here talking to you, Steps. Jesus Christ.
Des, thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Big Happy. That's a new name. I've never seen that. Big Happy. Welcome to the show, man. Good to see you in here. In the RPO system, Hurts is as an elite quarterback as Burrow in the pocket.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but do you think that they could still do that, or do you think the league would catch up?
I think they'd have to have more of a passing element to it.
Well, he passed. 22 is probably his best passing year.
Yeah, but to me, I think they do that wrong. I think if you want to have an RPO and you want to have a passing element, I think the tight end has to be more of a focal point than the numbers and the wide. Okay, because why, Xander? Hey, Xander, when you're doing the RPO, you're looking at the seam or you're looking at the hash mark, and he's more in front of him. I think the tight end would be better.
Look at Sean. Sean's pissed off I lost today. Xander, your boy Jason is just another talking head. He's not my boy.
He's my boy.
His boy.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Sean is pissed. Sean, I'm sorry, man. I let you down. I can feel the tension in your comment. I can feel it. All right, here we go. Oh, big one. Keith Johnson. Thanks, dude. Getting that in a second. Dez says Hurts moved his chains. Thank you, Dez. We saw that come in. And he has Zan, Colin, Dan, Colt McCoy. Yeah, he's Colt Sileo today, dude. He's acting like Jalen doesn't as no. It's
like asking a fat chick, is she good looking? What does the one thing this chick does well? She cooks. Okay, great. I mean, that's not quite the deal for me, you know. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, what does he do well? Well, he's healthy. Well, you don't have to be an athlete to be healthy. I mean, fuck. Well, he's there all the time.
Why do they play the game?
Oh, because he's a winner. He wins because of the roster, not him. Everywhere he's
bullshit.
been. He's been the benefit. Wait a minute. Get it. Bama, he was the benefit of a roster. Eagles, he's the benefit of the roster. Hey, I give him credit. He knows not to go to sorry-ass places. You think he could change the culture in Jacksonville?
Tom Brady himself couldn't change it. Jesus Christ, come down from heaven and
there's a win for you. Tom Brady
thing.
couldn't change Jacksonville.
Keith Johnson, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here and thank you for the support of the channel. Keith says, fair to say that Andy failed at times and made his mistakes. Therefore, give Nick the benefit of the doubt. Nick is winning. Yes, Keith.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm getting onto the Nick train a little bit.
Hey,
I'm kind of liking
Nick.
Nick.
Is George Seifert.
No, he's not.
Why? Really?
Come on, you've been around football. You don't see any good redeeming qualities in Nick Sirianni that a guy that you'd want to play for?
Zero.
What?
I don't see one. There's not one thing I like about Nick Sirianni as a head coach that makes me want to play for that guy. That guy's in Pittsburgh.
What?
Okay. No, here.
The only thing I don't like about Nick is his handshake. And did you hear that on Birds 365 today?
No, I did it, man.
Oh my God, I brought the handshake up again, and John used the same excuse. Well, former NFL guy, and then he goes, I don't really like handshakes anyway. I prefer the fist pound. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? That's the worst response that I've ever heard in my life.
Here. So so you're trying to tell me that he's not George Seifert. George Seifert, here's his coaching record: 14-2, 14-2, 10-6, 14-2, 11-5, 13-3, 12-5. 13-4, 10-6, and that guy won 2 Super Bowls. And then he goes to Carolina. He's 8-8, 7-9, 1-15. That guy should be in the fucking Pro Football Hall of Fame, but he was the benefactor of being in San Francisco. He's George Seifert.
No, he's not.
George Seifert will always have a better record and owns 2 Super Bowl rings. Okay.
Sileo will tell you how important winning is, and then he acts like people that
George Seifert's got 117 wins in 10 years and 2 Super Bowls. He's George Seifert. Nobody looks at George Seifert as a great coach.
Nick Sirianni on a way to the Hall of
Nick Sirianni couldn't serve cannolis.
Nick Sirianni is on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
Would you take Nick Sirianni really over still Doug?
I don't think so. Doug is, I tell you what though, Doug is, I don't know, is it Doug or is it Jacksonville? What's his deal with this coordinator? Bro, Press Taylor sucks. Why are you strapping your entire career to him?
Yeah. You may tell you what saved Tony Dungy's life.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Tony Dungy did not bring Clyde Christensen with him to Indianapolis. They made him not pick an old coordinator, and they got him one. Bill Polian demanded that he get one. It's the only thing they demanded. It made Tony a Hall of Fame coach. I think he is too set in his ways. Let me tell you something. His next job, if he is afforded one, he won't have that ability. And he'll learn from that.
Maybe he will. I don't know I think he's going back to KC, some sort of quality control coach.
Probably go there. Probably go there.
Keith Johnson, I tried, brother. It didn't quite work. Coastal Kid says Xander is nuts. I love it. I don't know why, but I love it. Sean Mims checks in. McNabb, go for balls. McNabb, go for balls. That is great, Sean. He was the king of that. The go for balls. Right into the turf. He nearly pierced the ground at the link. Oh, my God.
He threw those rounders.
Eagles too. Reed's offense works. Vic added the deep ball. Yeah, McNabb had his faults, but he was easily the greatest Eagles quarterback in history. So it's hard to criticize him. I know he never got the job done, but
McNabb, yeah, McNabb was,
by and far.
I'm not a McNabb guy either, but McNabb knocks on the door. He knocks on the Hall of Fame door.
Wait, what's up? What's up with Coastal Kid? Coastal Kid, I call you out for saying, what did you say? Xander is nuts. And now you're buttering me up with a love the show? Come on, state your case, Coastal Kid. Jesus, criminy. All right, let's keep going. Go for balls is the comment of the day so far. Sills, who would you take today, Tua or Hurts? Hurts again.
I'm taking Hurts because he's available. Tua's a better passer. He's proven it. He's a better passer, but he's not available enough for me to build an offensive.
What would this offense look like with Tua?
They'd be insane.
Oh, then why'd you take Hurts?
Because he's not available.
He hasn't missed that much, has he? I mean, when he doesn't get knocked out of the game,
he's a hit
when
away.
He's not a bobblehead with his head hanging on by.
He's a hit away from being Skittles.
Yeah, he is. You got to go. You got to go Hurts. I don't know, Keith. Who you going there, brother? I don't know. I'm probably going Hurts.
Let's get these guys. Cole's coming up here.
Oh my God. You're 5-5. You lost by picking the Birds versus ATL. Thanks, Anthony. That might be it. I'm going to double check it this week.
I think it is 5-5.
Shane O'Mac checks in. Eagles win because Hurts is a competitor. Put Kenny Flickett in there and Eagles lose. Who cares what Hurts' skill set is? We're winning with a solid defense. Hurts goes down. We're screwed, period. He's right, though.
Hey, Shane, I asked you in one question.
You're 100% right.
What's his skill set, not competitor? Okay. Everyone, hey, welcome to the NFL. You're a fucking competitor.
So does that not mean something, though? If our quarterback went down, we wouldn't win another fucking game. But because he hasn't gone, now he sucks. No, Shane, you're 100% right. By the way, love the U.S. military sticker. Or
he's a competitor.
Marines. I can't see it through the picture, but great picture on there.
He's a competitor. He's healthy. He's a leader. Can he throw the ball? Is he can he read defenses? Is he good when it comes to being an elite passer in the pocket? I haven't heard. All I hear is this: he's a really great guy, and he knows how to like cook like a hamburger.
Shut up over there. You want me to finish these or not?
Jesus Christ, man! What's next,
Jesse? Sip your little Diet Coke, you cis pot.
Yeah, Diet Coke.
Jesse G.
I don't do anything but diet. Like eating half a sandwich. I don't do that. All right.
Nick Sirianni is the Michael Scott of the NFL. He's running a successful organization while also being a complete goofball.
So what? He's Steve Jobs? You're saying, Jesse? Give me
Michael Scott. I think is a TV. I'm not a big. I've never seen that show, but is that the dude that coaches the soccer team on the Apple show or whatever it is?
Yeah, that's right. I know anybody from soccer. Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, Sills ain't watching that. Jesse.
No,
I appreciate the
reference. You might get blocked.
Brian Pumper, I can't believe you dudes are falling for Jalen Hurts' tricks again. Trap game loading. We might have talked these defenders into a stinker.
That's my boy. That's my boy Pumper, man. That's my boy Pumper, man. There you go. Love this guy.
I need it. I'm muting the show for the last hour and a half. So if you need me, don't take a break. Don't call for a super chat. Don't do anything. I'll end it at 6. I'm not going to be here for the rest of the show.
You need a shower.
Always Sonny. I wish Johnny Mac was here to shut this clown up. Yeah, he'll be there on the pregame show to shut his ass up.
Johnny Mac says the same shit about the passing game I do.
He just says it in a different way. It's funny how that works. When Wentz threw for 4K by 2 wide receivers played less than 9 games, is that what he said? What's by wide receiver? 2? Is that what he's saying by that?
2 wide receivers, I'm assuming.
Just use 2, dude. What is by?
Yeah, the year he threw for $4,000 or was a 1 wide receiver over 500 yards.
Travis Fulgham. Carson Wentz held the ball longer than Hurts does. He did, man. He was hero ball galore.
Funny how it's starting to look the same in the pocket. Oh, yeah, I could read a blitz, but I'm taking more sacks. Yeah, that thing's improved. It's fucking beautiful. I love how these guys are all doing. Everyone in the media in Philly's going, he's really improved in the blitz.
Yeah, we got the comment of the day on the way out here.
What?
We got the comment of the day on the way out for me. Thank you, Anthony, for putting me in a better mood on the way out. Hey, who you give credit to, Sills? You rip Howie, you rip Nick, you rip Jalen, you rip parts of the roster. Is this record divine intervention?
No, it's totally Howie putting this roster together. But I think that he makes critical decisions that are mistakes in picking the right or the wrong coaches. In the last 2 years, they picked the wrong coordinator for Hurts. Do you not agree?
It's a great take by Anthony Wilson.
Okay, well, by the way, they built a nice roster since 2000 in Philadelphia. Too bad you're 1 in, what is it, 2 in Super Bowls? Okay, well, congratulations. You guys have won 14 postseason games and you've lost 14 postseason games, and you've won 2 in Super Bowls. Okay, hey, congratulations. It's more than a lot of teams in the NFL. I wouldn't want to be the Jets, not having made the postseason in 15 years. Would I want to be the Eagles at 14-14 in the postseason and 1-2 in Super Bowls? Shit, yeah.
I need to go. I need to get the fucking. Richard said, "God damn, Xander! Oh my god, this is just a absolute slaughter fest."
Hey, this
today.
could be a really good day for me and a bad day for him. I don't know. I mean,
it is. Now Cole's late. You were bitching at me to get off, and Cole's not even here yet.
Now he's late here. This guy better show his ass up here. Well, let me take a timeout then. Let's take a timeout. By the way, Xander, I'm going to do a read here, man. So get the hell out of here, man.
Did you see that idiot, by the way, hollering at Jason Kelsey on the street or at Kimmel, whatever it was?
Didn't he? Hey, didn't he see the guy? What happened to him at the Ohio State?
Yeah, right. Oh,
obviously, you didn't get a good sense of what Jason's capable of. Hey, by the way, I think it's cool he's going to be hosting a late night show. I like what he's doing, man.
Yeah, he's a little oversaturated. I think he even knows that, but. Look, you take advantage of the opportunities.
You take advantage while you're hot, dude. Not hanging in there. I mean, I like him more than Travis. I'll tell you that. I do. I like him more than Travis. Just because he's got a hoochie mama, Travis, don't mean I like him. I mean, I like I like his family. I like the whole setup.
Travis is a dork. Jason's the man.
Yeah. You know what? My wife even goes like this. He goes, that guy looks like he'd like to party with. I mean, and by the way, one of the greatest athletic moves I've ever seen, holding a beer and jumping out of a skybox in Buffalo and not spilling it and then gunning it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Hey, Taylor's a billionaire. I didn't say she wasn't. She's a hoochie mama billionaire. Okay, so what? So's Madonna. I'm not. It's not a rip. She's
would people in the chat want a woman that's a billionaire? Is that something somebody would desire?
Sure. Dude, if the chick, let me tell you this, man. If my old lady could make all the money in the world, I wouldn't fucking work a day in my life. I'd be sitting back being fatter.
I would never
fatter big sills.
I would never say that. Men need purpose. Men need vision. Men need goals. Men need work.
My purpose is having me around me.
Coronas is your purpose.
Yeah, having me around me.
Senor says I'm out of my mind if I don't want a chick that's a billionaire.
I don't give a shit, man.
You guys are all softies. Devin, if I don't have to work. No, Devin, you're a man. You suit up in life. You show up to work. You put your best foot forward every day, and you provide for your loved ones. Yeah. That's what gives men purpose in life. Come on, Devin.
Yeah, I'm going to sit in front of the TV all day and die watching whatever I want to watch. Let me go. I'm going to take a timeout. Let's run. Let's run.
Here. He's got Coronas here.
Hold on for a minute, man. Let me see here. So what are we doing on Sunday here? You hear what he just said? He's going to threaten me. We're going to go an hour 45. Oh, it's Sunday.
Oh, we are. We're going an hour 45. So, maybe leave your Corona in the fridge.
Hey, he said we're going an hour 45. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, Akbar, I knew you'd agree with me on that one, brother. Thank you, bro.
Akbar, you'll agree with anything anti-sales. All right, Mike Missinelli. Appreciate it.
No, that's not true at all. Akbar, for the first thing he ever said when he came on JAKIB was, I've been at the school of Sileo for a year.
Akbar.
Come on, Akbar deserves some respect. He's got some shit takes, but everybody does.
Oh, man.
Look, he's right. Akbar says a billionaire bitch will drag the shit out of you.
Good. I actually like that kind of woman.
Oh my God. All right. Now you're revealing things about yourself that I don't want.
Let me go. I gotta try to drag Cole down.
Goodbye. Everybody.
Hey.
I love you all, man. JAKIB Nation, best in the world. Thank you all for all the support and everything you guys do for us. Means the world to me, means the world to my pop, means the world to Big Sills. Thank you for everything, everybody. We will catch you on Sunday.
Thanks so much. Xander, awesome stuff, man. Great stuff. Guys, do me a favor. Check out our great friends at BetUS. BetUS is the answer for you during this football season. And right now, you get an opportunity with our good friends at BetUS to be part of the YouTube 150. Simple as that. You join up right now. You go online. You take a look at their website. And the YouTube 150 gives you an opportunity to join us as we've partnered up with them for a great football season. Don't forget, 150% up to $2K in your sign-in bonus. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service, 365. Live wagering on all major games. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at DryTech. At DryTech we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give DryTech a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore, have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Do me a favor, please hit the like button. Guys have been great today. I can't thank you enough, man. Can't thank you enough. By the way, I do think there's going to be a ton of job openings. Dallas, Jacksonville, New Orleans, Jets, Giants, Raiders, Browns, Chicago. I think you're going to see some openings there. I don't know what David Tepper's going to do in Carolina. So you could have as many as 10 teams this coming offseason, depending on what happens, obviously, too, when it comes to the postseason. I mean, if Sean McDermott falls on his face in Buffalo and they get knocked out in the opening round, are they going to bring back Sean McDermott in Buffalo? Especially when you got some high-quality guys out there that you could bring in. I think you're going to see a ton of turnover this year when it comes to when it comes to a lot of openings this year in the NFL draft. I'll say this to you. 2019, the quarterback position, in evaluating that position, is still one of the more difficult. Here's the 2019 draft picks that were first rounders. Kyler Murray. What would you say about Kyler Murray? What grade would you give him as starting quarterback? He's played great this year. I think he's playing great. But as a career, what are we looking at here? A B guy? Okay. He's kind of like a B guy, right? Yeah, right? A B. Okay. Well, he was the first pick in the draft. Daniel Jones was the 6th pick. He was just released today by the Giants. Dwayne Haskins, God rest his soul, was the 15th pick in 2019. I mean, Kyler Murray, Daniel Jones, and Dwayne Haskins were the 3 quarterbacks that were taken in the first round and in the top 15 picks. One guy's good, I guess, and the other 2 were not very good. And they didn't evaluate him. Haskins was never the guy when he came out of Ohio State. God rest his soul again, too. Not to talk shit on the kid, but I'm talking about the draft class. Not talking about anything. I'm talking about the draft class. That wasn't a very good draft class. And for the record, I mean, if you go to the 2020 draft even, and the 21 draft, I mean, evaluating that position, look at the quarterbacks that have had, I mean, Patrick Mahomes wasn't the first overall pick. Okay, he wasn't. Tom Brady, the winningest quarterback in the history of the league, was a 6th rounder. The second winning, hey, Yale, right? Listen to this. The first and second winningest quarterbacks in pro football history during the Super Bowl era. One guy was a 3rd rounder, and the other guy was a 6th rounder. And between those 2, they won 11 Super Bowls. So drafting a guy in the first round, that doesn't always predicate whether or not you have and you found the guy that's going to carry your franchise. Shit, look at the Jets. The Jets haven't really had a quarterback since Namath. That's 60 years ago. I mean, 50 years ago. And then you take a look at what they're doing in Green Bay when you put 3 guys together back to back. Some places know how to do it, and some places don't know how to do it. All right, we're referencing our friend Jason. Remember, Eric Allen has been put on that finals list and that semifinal list. So I want to get his take on what he thinks the odds are. Hopefully we're able to catch up with him. The Philly Godfather is going to join us at 5:30 Eastern time. I ranked the games this weekend. And here are the games I ranked this weekend. By the way, we'll hit on what Nick Sirianni said this morning. So I'm going to go from 5 up on this week's games. And here are my 5 and my 5 best games to keep an eye on this weekend. Dallas and Washington. I don't know, but why do I feel Washington coming off that game against the Eagles? Why do I feel Dallas will show up? Why do I feel they'll show up for this game? It's one of the great rivalries in football, and I don't know. Washington has got to show me they can overcome being beat like that. Having the game won and then losing it in the back half of that football game. They were shutting down the Eagles for the first half and into the third. And then they fell apart, especially some questionable coaching from Dan Quinn when it came to going for it on 4th down, not taking the points and going for it on 4th down. That was a stupid play by him, and I thought they panicked. So this will be a test. Do I think Dallas? I think Dallas is surrendered. Okay, I do. I think Dallas is surrendered. The 4th best game to keep an eye on. Arizona, Seattle. Seattle just beat the 49ers. Arizona has been playing really good ball. We just talked about Kyler Murray. He's played some pretty damn good football. And, you know, he's in the conversation for MVP. Do I think he? Absolutely not. But he's in the conversation being on the Pro Bowl team this year. Kyler Murray's made a rebound. I was questioning whether or not he would be the future in Arizona. I'm sold he's the future. And I think Arizona, if you're the Bidwells, you're going to offer him another contract and you're going to extend him. And don't be surprised if you see him making $56, $57 million. He's making $46.1 now. I would not be surprised if they extend him. And by the way, would I? Yeah. I would extend him. He's showing more of a commitment to the game. He crushed both the 49ers and Rams this year. I mean, I don't know what else you want him to do. He's leading the division this year. He's taken to Shane Steichen or Jonathan Gannon's coaching. I mean, he's playing for the Bidwells. We're not talking about a frontline organization here. The Bidwells are not a good organization and not good owners. And he's winning in spite of that. Okay? Number 3, San Francisco, Green Bay. Let me take a look at the records here for San Francisco. By the way, we're efforting our friend Jason Cole. Hopefully we're able to catch up with him. See where San Francisco. So San Francisco's 5-5. By the way, that division, 6-4 Arizona, 5-5 Rams, 5-5 Seattle. San Francisco's 5-5. If I look at it, I would say this to you. The NFC West might not be the best division, but it's the most competitive. The AFC West has 9-1 Kansas City, the Chargers at 7-3, and the Broncos sitting at 6-5. The NFC North, 9-1 Detroit, Vikings 8-2, Packers are 7-3. Probably the best division in football is the NFC North. Then I would say the NFC West is probably second, and then I would say the AFC North would probably round out the top 3. Those would be the best divisions that I would go top 3. This San Francisco-Green Bay game, San Francisco's got to win, okay? You're now floating in that line now where, hey, are you going to do anything? I mean, you got to start putting games together here. They have wobbled all year long, has San Francisco. I mean, they have wobbled a ton here. The second best game, Baltimore and the Chargers. Baltimore's coming off that tough loss to Pittsburgh. And the Chargers, I believe this is a Monday night game. That you're going to have to show me, if you're the Chargers, that you can win a game like this and you're at home. This is a big ball game here. By the way, I saw that too. Charlie's bringing up that George Pickens play. George Pickens was more worried about throwing a Browns guy out of the club last night and throwing him into the stands than he was catching a football in a game winner. Dude, you lost your poise. That guy loses his poise too much. I don't really like his character. And for that guy to be on the team with Mike Tomlin, isn't it funny how those wide receivers and some of the players that are on that Pittsburgh team, how that guy keeps those guys in order? And when they go somewhere else, I bet you George Pickens would be a complete nightmare. Look at Antonio Brown when he left Pittsburgh. He was a complete nightmare. Look at Le'Veon Bell when he left. He was a nightmare. That guy, Mike Tomlin, keeps everybody in check, no matter what your personality is. I think that guy would be just an absolute I would never want George. Is George Pickens a talented guy? Yeah. I mean, he's a talented football player, but I think he's a train wreck as a dude. And Mike Tomlin keeps those guys – I think he keeps those guys in order, man. I mean, Antonio Brown was playing Hall of Fame football in Pittsburgh for him. He left. He was a bum. And I think the number one game this weekend, I think it is Eagles and Rams. I think this game, again, if the Rams have had it. This is why I know you guys don't like my pick. That's all right. But I'm going to tell you why I think the Rams are not who they are at 5-5. So take a look at the Rams here. The Rams' first 4 games, first 4. They lose 26-20 to Detroit. Okay. I'm not giving kudos for bad losses here, but you were competitive and you played in those first 4. 3 of your 4 were played on the road. San Francisco. By the way, they beat the Niners, who were not healthy at the time. So I don't know what kind of quality win that thing was. But you look at the Rams here. They lost to Green Bay 24-19. And so they started out the season 1-4. And over the last 5, they've beaten Vegas 20-15. They beat Minnesota. They beat Seattle. Just beat the doorknobs, or not the doorknobs, but they just beat San Francisco. They lost to Miami, and they were struggling in New England, and they ended up winning that game. So they're 1-4. It's a tale of 2 halves of a season. They've gotten healthier, and I think they're better than what you think they are at 5-5. I think they're a good football team, and I know they're well coached. I mean, that coach is one of the top 3 coaches in the league. I mean, he is. He's just one of the top 3 coaches in the league. We're going to hit on what Nick said today as they prepare for those Rams. But I think the Rams are good. Tony says, I think the record is misleading. It is. Records are, hey, Tony, NFL records are the most leading thing going. Okay? They are. There's no doubt. Because you don't have what you have in college. You got 85 guys in college on scholarship. Guy gets hurt at Alabama or a guy gets hurt at Georgia. I get 2 5-star guys that can step right in, and it's not going to be a fall off. In NFL, you don't have that. If a star player falls off and he gets hurt, you're devastated. Salary cap, money, all of that play a factor in the NFL. That's why when some of you goes, there goes Sills with the money. Well, money builds rosters. If you're not spending the money, you don't have a good roster. Unless you're a superstar team like Kansas City that knows how to evaluate talent. That's why the Eagles have spent a lot of money. See, Eagles have had to spend a lot of money on that. Okay? They have. So that has been an issue. All right. Don't forget, we're going to get Philly 500 on with us. That will be at 5:30 Eastern time. We're going to catch up with our friend Jason Cole. And we'll get with Jason right now. We'll go to Jason Cole, our Hall of Fame voter. I've got some comments made about
I'm losing you. I can't hear you quite.
I think it's a big NFL weekend this weekend.
Oh, absolutely. It's huge. I'm loving it. Well, it started with a great game last night. I love that. I loved last night's game.
If you're the Browns, do you give Jameis Winston a shot at the apple and having him as your future?
No. I mean, there's part of me is, I think there's a seriousness with which Jameis is now taking his career that I appreciate. But he's still the Jameis who throws the bad interception, right? Like that one interception he threw in the fourth quarter, it really should have cost him the game. Jameis is still going to Jameis. And he's going to make those kinds of mistakes because it's in his nature. He's a gunslinger like that, and he's not such a talented gunslinger that he can make it work all the time. If that makes sense. But it's close. Like, it's close. And if you tell me this is the study habits we're going to get, this is the kind of human being I'm going to get going forward, and he's got a seriousness, it might be enough for me to hang on to him for a while and play it out until I have the next great option. Does that make sense? And I don't. That part of this is what's your plan to get the next quarterback? And everybody thinks about the next draft. Well, yeah, it depends, but it depends on what kind of draft pick it is and what the depth is. Do you really like the quarterbacks who are in the draft? Like Cam Ward? You're a Canes guy. Is Cam Ward that good?
I think I'd rather stick with Jameis Winston than Shador and Cam. I think he's better than those guys.
And that's fair. I'm not a scout, right? So, I just hear things and you watch the highlights of the college guys because I don't have time to watch a lot of that stuff. And you hear what they say. So I can't disagree with that. But that's the evaluation you have to make. So if you think Winston's better than those guys, okay, sign him to a 3-year deal where he's got some upside. If he's the starter, he can make $25 million a year, with incentives and all those kinds of things, and make it fair for him. That if he's your starter, he gets paid. If he's not, if he's your backup, he's still getting, a certain amount of money. I think he's at that stage of his career. And let's see how serious he really is taking his career going forward.
Before I get to Eagle Rams, I have to ask you, obviously, about Daniel Jones. I mean, wow, what a colossal disaster this has been. I mean, Barkley's out the building. They got no compensation for him. They let this guy go. They gave him $150 million over 3 years.
Well, he didn't get all of that, but yeah, they gave him he still got a chunk of cash. Yeah.
Again, they're still going to get hit with the cap hits with him being waived the way they did today. So my question would be, I mean, if Saquon Barkley is a star in Philly with better personnel around him, what makes me not believe if Daniel Jones goes somewhere else, Jason, say he goes, and I'm not saying they're going to do that in San Francisco, but what would Daniel Jones look like with that kind of talent around him and that kind of coaching around him? I mean, why can't, if Barkley benefited, why can't he benefit from having better talent and better coaching? Take a look at what we saw with Winston last night. Look at Geno. Look at Sam Darnold. Look at Baker. All these guys are really making reclamation projects. Why can't this guy be one?
Well, yeah, he can, but even among the guys that you just mentioned, there's a ceiling for each one of those guys. Okay, and they're all somewhere in the below league average, slightly below league average. Like I always say, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but if Alex Smith is sort of your standard bearer for what a league average starter looks like, which is surround the guy with a lot of talent, good system, you can make the playoffs and compete. If Alex Smith is that, these guys are all a derivation of Alex Smith, better plus or minus. But the plus is not so great that it's going to be a franchise-altering quarterback. They've already shown that they're not that kind of guy. But yeah, can you get more out of a Daniel Jones? Sure.
You're right, Jason. Every one of those guys I mentioned, I don't hear Super Bowl on the back end of those guys taking those teams.
You could. Yeah, right. Now, it could happen in the right circumstances. Again, if you're surrounded by the right kind of guys. Like Nick Foles, classic example. It was kind of a league average quarterback, had more ability than your typical backup guy, got an opportunity, got surrounded by great talent, got on a roll, and won a Super Bowl because he was in the right system with the right people around him. Could that happen to Daniel Jones sometime in the next 10 years? Sure, it could happen. Is it the guy that you're saying this guy can make me a playoff contender year in and year out? No, that's not what he is.
Rams and Eagles this weekend. Why do I've picked the Rams to win because they're healthy now. Last 5, they're 4-1. First 5, obviously, they were injured and they were 1-4. So they've kind of I'm an enormous Sean McVay fan. I like Matthew Stafford. I love the 2 wideouts. You know, he's one of the best throwers in the world. He's Matthew Stafford. And I love the way that Sean calls a football game. I mean, I look at the one-dimensional Eagles. I mean, they don't really throw the ball well. If that guy gets a lead on you, it is at home. They've got 3 to 4 fabulous rookies. I mean, I like the Rams this weekend against the Eagles, man. I mean, that Eagle defense has played 2 quality teams this year. I mean, I don't know, Jace.
Coming off a pretty nice win.
They are.
and they're rolling a little bit. Again, I think the key to this is Sirianni's gotten back to being kind of a dickhead. Like, here's the secret: just be yourself, have swagger, and he's kind of like a Philly version of John Gruden.
Yeah.
So I like Philly better than the Rams. I think the Rams are a very limited team. So I'll take
because the defense.
Yeah, the defense is just okay. Like, they have to gamble a lot. They have to make things happen, and they have to get turnovers. They have to get interceptions. That's possible to do against Philly, but Philly has better. They just have better guys.
It's a better roster. There's no question. It's a better roster here.
So I'll go with that.
One of the things and one of the reasons I got you on today, besides your great takes, is the modern day era player semifinalists came down. What, in your opinion, why do you believe Eric Allen? All Eagle fans want to know, what do you, as a percentage-wise, think his shot is at making the Hall of Fame?
The Hall of Fame?
Yes.
5 to 10%.
Oh. Why?
It's a crowded group. It's just that, look at all those guys. They're really even. It's hard to distinguish a lot of those guys from. I mean, the only guy to me that I don't think there's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer on this list. If there is a first ballot Hall of Famer, it's Luke Kuechly. And Marshall Yand is awful good. I mean, maybe there'll be some political pressure among enough people that Eli does it. I would put Eli in first ballot. I think that there's going to be a lot of pushback on that. But that just tells you, like, the group is just really, really balanced. Like, I looked at it as not just the cut down to 25 this time, which was, the essential part of the job, but I looked even further and said, okay, what does the 15 look like out of this group? And man, it's tough. It's tough to get down to 15 because they all look alike.
How about this, Jason? Here's a stat the last 10 years, and I went back and I added all this up. Eli Manning in his last 10 years as a starting quarterback was 67 and 81. 245 touchdown passes and 170 interceptions. I mean, I see two elite moments, and I see after that, I see average, below average at times. I mean, this guy the last decade was not a winning quarterback in the NFL, and I'm supposed to sit here and go, because his last – and look, I get the Super Bowl. They're both MVPs. He beats Brady. I mean – there's no doubt that makes it even like this. How close do you think that vote's going to be for him being the first ballot?
Well, we don't know what the vote is, right? So we'll know whether he makes the top 5. If he makes the top 5, there'll be a cut down process. I assume he's going to make the 15, but even the 15 for me with Eli, like you're asking about Eric Allen, like I'm debating Eli in the top 15.
Wow.
Right?
I agree.
I just, and I like Eli personally. And I think very highly of the 2 Super Bowls.
Jerry Myers is making the pitch for him, from what I understand.
Yeah, Gary will do it. Look, Gary will do a representative job and he'll do fine. But it doesn't matter. Like, we all know who Eli is. We all know what the record is, and the record has some amazing moments. Like, if you tell me again, and we've said this before, that you're going to pick a quarterback with, a high pick like that, he's going to play for you for 15, 16, 17 years, and he's going to win 2 Super Bowls. You're going to sit there and you're going to say, I'll take that every day, twice on Sunday. I'm good with that career. And that he's going to be a difference maker in those playoff runs. If you said that's what I'm getting out of Eli Manning, out of any quarterback, take it. I'm taking that to the bank. I can live on that for 17 years. I win 2 Super Bowls in 17 years. I'm golden, right, as a franchise. But yeah, like a lot of it was just, you know what I've said.
Yeah, great.
He played like he rolled out of bed at the frat house. He just, like, hey, I I had 8 beers instead of 3 last night.
Yeah.
So I'm throwing 5 interceptions, or I only had 2 beers, so I'm feeling sharp, and I'm throwing 4 TDs today. I mean, that's just, and I will also say this, that some of that is to Eli's credit of that's how he survived in New York as long as he did and handled the pressure. A lot of quarterbacks don't handle the pressure. Daniel Jones did not handle the pressure of playing in New York. Lots of quarterbacks have not. Richard Todd, melted down. Like there's one guy after another. Eli Manning played his entire career in New York, toughed it out, won 2 Super Bowls, manned up the entire time. I mean, he's a tough guy like Phil Simms. He's a little goofier than Phil Simms, but he had that toughness in him to handle it, and that's not a small thing.
I'm not going to name all the names here, but okay, we just talked about Eli, Fred Taylor, and Waters. I do not believe Anquan Bolden.
Fred Taylor to me would make the top 15.
Okay, all right, that's great.
Waters and Bolden not so much. Yeah,
Torrey Holt, Steve Smith.
Top 15 definitely. For
Hines,
Reggie, Hines, no.
How about Gates?
Gates makes top 15.
How about Willie Anderson and Richmond Webb?
Webb was a better player. Anderson has more momentum as of this moment. And you're going to ask about the guards next. Yand is the best of the guards by far.
Over Wisniewski, okay.
Yeah, Wisniewski's he's not making it. I don't think he even makes the 15. Jari Evans and Logan Mankins were better players than Wisniewski.
Defense. We just talked about Allen, Rodney Harrison, Earl Thomas, or Darren Woodson. Any of those guys you think make the 15?
Earl Thomas was the best of them for a short period of time, for a 4 to 5 year period of time with the Legion of Boom, but didn't sustain it. Woodson sustained it a long time. Harrison sustained it and won championships too. I think there's a chance for one of either Woodson or Rodney Harrison to make the top 15. I don't think more than one of them makes the top 15.
Interesting list, and I agree with you on Kuechly. James Harrison, Terrell Suggs, linebackers. Both those guys, Super Bowl winners, great players. I'm a James Harrison fan.
Yeah, I like James Harrison. He's got some big moments too. He's not just and he's a great story.
Yep.
Terrell Suggs is a better player.
Yep.
So Suggs ahead of Harrison, but Harrison I think hangs around a long time and eventually gets in the room. Whether it's this year or whether it's in the future, I think Harrison eventually gets in the room for discussion.
Jared Allen, Robert Mathis, Vince Wilfork. Any of those guys?
I think 2 of those guys could make it. And again, this is where you start adding the numbers up, and it gets tough, right? Jared Allen should get into the top 15. He's up there, just like Terrell Suggs should be in the top 15. To me, Vince Wilfork is a real favorite. He doesn't have the numbers of your classic defensive lineman, the sack numbers, and he was not like Warren Sapp. But what that job of playing, on the nose in a Bill Belichick defense is like.
3 Super Bowls too.
Right, and to play that to play that position, that's a tough guy position, right? As a and what it takes and the toughness that he had, because nobody else lasted that long. Like the Jim Burts of the world did not last as long as he did.
Not even Michael Carter, whom I thought Michael Carter during my era was the best nose, but he just couldn't last that long because of the demanding part of the position.
Yeah, right, and Vince handled it, and so I'm a big Vince Wilfork guy. I don't see him making it in, but I see that he has an outside chance to make the top 15.
2 last ones here. Jason here. I only see 4 guys on here, and you tell me. I see Reggie Wayne. I see Yanda on here. I see Kuechly on here. And I see Suggs on here. And the rest of these guys, I don't really think this is a superstar class. You could maybe make the call for Steve Smith, or James Harrison, but Rodney Harrison doesn't have enough Pro Bowls, in my opinion. I think he's a great player, but I think he falls short of the accolades to be able to get into he has 2 Super Bowls. I get it. But to me, I only see 4 guys on this list. And if Eric Allen's not on this list, I mean, I don't really see a strong class here. Do you?
No, I see a lot of very, very good players. And that's why,
like you said, I think your point is right on. I think everybody looks alike here.
Yes, it's hard. It's hard to separate these guys out. There's, and people forget this. Like Richmond Webb should be separated out from the offensive line because he has got 4 All-Pros. The rest of those guys don't have more than 2, and that's why. And
his offense was number 1 many times with Marino.
Right now, he didn't run block the same way. My wife is making an appearance in the background. That's very funny. So no, Richmond Webb is a really spectacular player, and he's really toward the end of the process. And so he might get lost in this. But even when I say he's a spectacular player, there's a bunch of other. Eric Allen is deserving to get in the Hall of Fame, but is it more so than some of the other guys on this list? It's really, really debatable. Like if you put Eric Allen against Terrell Suggs or Jared Allen, how does that come out? If you put him up against Marshall Yanda or Richmond Webb, or like, how does that come out? And that's going to be a matter of taste in the room among the 50 people who vote. And here's the one other little tweak that we have to the whole process, which is we're going to name 5 finalists, I think it's going to be 7 finalists. I can't remember the rule at this moment. We're going to have 7 finalists, and the most who can make it out of those 7 are going to be 5, and they're going to have to be the 5 who get the 80% support. So there's a real chance that having 7 guys will split up the votes enough that you could maybe only have 3 guys make it in this year out of the modern era guys. It's quite a math problem this year.
Finally here, help me out on this. How does a guy like Paul Tagliabue become a Hall of Famer and Bob Kraft, who has 11 AFC championships and 6 Super Bowls?
I can't talk about this. I can't answer your question because we have not announced the contributor candidate.
I mean,
we have not announced the contributor candidate. I respect what you're asking.
Okay.
I'm not telling you that you're making a bad argument. I just simply cannot talk about the contributor category. They have not announced. I know there's a story out there about Ralph Hay and Bob Kraft and the other people in the contributor. I understand the news is out there. I'm not avoiding that. But I, as a selector, made an agreement not to talk about this. And so I'm going to respect the agreement I made.
Just for your insight, I got it from a Boston guy who's highly regarded up there with the Boston, Dan Johnson, up there in Boston, that Bob Kraft, and please don't say anything. I'm just saying that, he's not on that. So I was like pretty shocked when I heard that, and I was like, wow, okay.
Like Don Van Natter wrote the story for ESPN, and that story's out there, and I've seen it and I've read it, and I have my opinions, but out of respect, I made an agreement not to talk about the category, and not reveal anything that I might know, and so I gotta live up to that agreement.
And I respect you. You know that more than anything in the planet. So, Jace, have a great football weekend. I appreciate you always doing this for me, man. Thank you,
Anytime,
my friend.
Dude. Sorry for being late. Later.
You got it. It's all good, brother. Always. You're never late. Thank you, man. That's our friend Jason Cole. Yeah, Kraft didn't make it, and I know this. And you put that scumbag Paul Tagliabue in, but you don't put in Bob Kraft. Makes no sense. Anyway, Philly Godfather's joining us right around the corner. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in Southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing, the second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs, and then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sales National Football Show. Let me put another merit badge. Hold on. That's two now. Now we got the Scumbag Inquirer taking shots at us. The Philadelphia National Enquirer now is taking shots at JAKIB. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about, too. This is classic. Hey, you know what's going to happen here? I'm going to do something. It's definitely going to aggravate my aunt. I'd like to tell everybody here, you know, all the things that were said about China. Fake news. Holy shit. You got more fake news in Philadelphia than you got with CNN and MSNBC right now. Holy shit. Fake news. You guys got a bunch of woke-ass, soft-ass media outlets that lie through their teeth. How you doing? Hey, gossiping about big sales. Dude, I have never met a network that fits my personality more than this thing. JAKIB, it's me. I mean, we got the same personality. It's a fuck you mentality. God, during this holiday time, I will do one thing that my aunt will love. I will do everything in my power from this day on, JFK Day. Moving forward, I aged myself. I will try every single day to cut down my F-bombs because you're rewarding me so well. Thank you. In God's name, Big Sills, truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. I will do everything in my power to do that. You know what JAKIB is a little bit? It's a little like the Philly Godfather. I'll tell you why. Taking shots. Just, just taking shots. People talking shit. Absolutely lying. Oh, my God. Philly Godfather must have a, like when you're a Boy Scout, you get merit badges. Right? Philly Godfather, I'm sure all the way around his waist has all these merit badges of people talking shit on him, try to bury him in the desert out in Vegas. Hey, you know where Henderson is out in Vegas? If you've ever been out there, there's a couple of Paisans I know out there. I don't know where they're located, but they're in a hole somewhere out there. When the lake drew up, I saw the barrels. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. Okay. I think Philly Godfather may know a few of them guys out there in them barrels. But hey, who's keeping score now? I think he was in one of those barrels and escaped at one time. I don't know here, man. He's got a book coming out. He's a legend and one of my favorite segments of the week. I absolutely love it. Without further ado, the man, the myth, the man who makes money for people and himself, it's our friend, the Philly Godfather, joins us now. How you doing, brother?
A little under the weather. For a guy that doesn't have a job, I work 16 hours a day. Been extremely busy. Finally got done counting all the money we won from the election about an hour ago. So it's been a busy week, Dan. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. I could just – so, give me a number. Kind of not exact number, but give me on the election on what you guys rolled in.
Well, back in 2016, I won about $1.75 on the election. And then they got me in 2020 when they rigged it. I lost about 75 back. And this time it was about 250 we brought in total. So it was a nice payday. But, to me, it's just a number on a piece of paper,
See, to you, it's the game, right?
It's the action, yeah. Because I've been ready to retire for years. My kids are going to be taking everything over. The book's coming out. You mentioned the desert. They tried to bury me 20 feet under the desert out there in Yuma, Arizona, when they tried to give me 25 years in prison, and I overturned my conviction. I was in prison for 2 years at a supermax prison, handcuffed and shackled, controlled movement, 23-hour lockdown with mass murderers. And somehow, by the grace of God, man, they overturned my conviction back in 2008. And I came home. I was exonerated of all charges.
Wait a minute. You weren't in that one prison out there on the way to Phoenix, out there where right across from the landfill. You weren't in that place. That place looks pretty harsh out there.
I was in a worse place. I was in Yuma. It's the hottest place in the world. They have swamp coolers in that prison. And it got to about 122 degrees one day, and the swamp cooler stopped working at around like $1.05, 107. So the walls are sweating, the floors are sweating, you're sweating, and it's the hottest place in the world. And you're sitting next to lifers and mass murderers. So
I don't think they're serving Big Macs there either. So I mean,
yeah, you want to hear a funny story? I had a guard, Verdugo. And I used to give him $50, and he used to sneak me in Big Macs there like once a month.
Oh my God, that's fabulous!
Big Mac, yeah.
All right, hey, I've got the Rams this weekend. I got them 28-21. Devontae Smith's been ruled out. The offensive passing game has struggled, and over the last 5 weeks, the Rams are 4-1. Obviously, since they got healthy, they look like a completely different team. And that's not really a 5-5 team. They're well coached. Now, the Eagles, if you look at their schedule, they've played who? Green Bay, Washington. Maybe that Bengal game you could take something away from, but the rest of those games, they played more 2 to 3 win teams this year than any team in the league right now. So, am I off base when I take the Rams? I think there's a 3.5-point deal here for that too. So, I mean, I got them at 28-21. Am I off base with the Rams pick this Sunday?
I don't think so. I mean, you got to travel 3,000 miles. You got a team that's starving at 5-5, playing for their playoff lives. The Eagles have a 1.5 game cushion over the Commanders. And like you said, the Eagles have looked great over the last 6 weeks. But who has been their competition? Before they played the Commanders, their opponent's record was 13-35. So now it's 20-39. You know what I mean? So not the best competition. Like you mentioned, the Rams are 4-1 in their last 5 games. They beat a really good 8-2 Minnesota team during that time span. Rams have the better coach. They have the better quarterback. Vic Fangio.
Probably the better wide receiving core too, as a core besides AJ. I mean, Nakua, Cup, even the kid Robinson's got 700 yards receiving.
Yeah.
So I mean,
and with Matt Stafford, he can make anyone look good. And Vic Fangio's defense has looked pretty good over the last 6 weeks. Looks like it's gelling. I think they've given up the third least amount of points in the NFC this season. But it's been against inferior opponents. So the Rams are definitely a step up. Probably the best quarterback coach they've faced all season, the Eagles, this week. And if you get 3.5 points, 3 points on a Rams team, on a hungry Rams team, I like the Rams as well, man.
Let's go on to Sunday games. Minnesota's sitting at 8-2 right now. They obviously have to stay pace with what Detroit's doing and also with what you're doing in Philadelphia. Do you agree that you think the NFC is still wide open? Before you answer Minnesota, Chicago, do you think the NFC is still wide open between I'm not – San Francisco's got a big one this weekend, though, but do you think anybody could still win that NFC right now?
Well, you know this. November, December, it exposes all the pretenders. It magnifies the better teams. The teams that win in the next, 2 months are the teams that are going to go into the playoffs. NFC is wide open. I think the Lions are the team to beat. And then you got the second tier. You got the Vikings. You got the Packers. You got the Eagles. And then, maybe a team out of the NFC West like the Cardinals, Seahawks. Seahawks are really good, actually. And the Rams, now that they're getting healthy, this has been the healthiest the Rams team has been all season. So watch out for them. But is it wide open? No, I think Detroit's that much better than everyone else. And then the Eagles are, on that second tier at the A level.
Minnesota, Chicago. They go into Chicago, NFC North battle here. You like the Lions? You like the Vikings there?
I mean, line opened up 4, it's down to 3.5. Both teams are actually the healthiest they've been all season, so they're at full strength. And before the season started, I think both teams projected season win total was set at 8.5. So now you might see a different Bears team. The Vikings have owned Chicago over the last 4 years since 2020. They've won 4 in a row against them in Chicago and against the spread. So they played really well over there in Chicago. Division games are tough. You know that. Yep. Just look at the game last night, Browns and Steelers. These teams know each other like the back of their hand. The Bears actually they've performed pretty well against NFC North teams. They're 4-1 against the Vegas number. You got a soft dome team playing at Soldier Field. As good as that Vikings team is, they do play in the dome. I kind of like what I saw from Caleb Williams last week. He averaged 7.5 yards per pass attempt against a pretty good Packers team. I kind of like the Bears here plus the number, man. Give me the Bears.
Bears in the number. Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. Detroit's got an interesting ball game here. They fly into Indianapolis here, and I thought Anthony Richardson played some pretty good football the last week. He had 275 this past weekend. And then you have Detroit here now going in, obviously sitting at 9-1. They got 2 backs that are going to be over 1,300 yards rushing. Their defense has been pretty surprisingly well, even without Aiden Hutchinson. What do you see in this one here?
Well, we took the Lions. Both of us had them.
Yeah, no, I got them winning the Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I put 5,000 on them at 13-1. So if they do get to the Super Bowl, I can always hedge the other side for guaranteed free money. I can ride it out and try and win $65,000. I also bet them over 10.5 wins. So we're close to cashing that ticket. Early action, public money, right around 65% of the tickets are on the Detroit Lions, which doesn't surprise me. But this Colts team, even though they're 5-6, they've been a cover machine.
Yeah.
They've covered the spread 8 out of 11 games this season. And I mean, the Lions have too. So both teams combined have covered the Vegas number right around 76% of the time, which is outrageous. Health-wise, the Lions are the slightly healthier team going into Sunday, but their pass defense is still a little nicked up. When it comes to betting the side, I think it's a little bit of a letdown spot for Detroit. They put up 52 points against the Jags last week. So I think they come in a little bit in a letdown spot here. I kind of like the Colts plus 7.5. I'll probably be on an island. I think the whole world's going to be betting the Lions here. But this Colts team is pretty gritty. And they've played 19 one-score games under Shane Steichen. And they're 14-5 against the spread during that time span. They're really gritty at home, man. It's all about the number. It's all about the price. Do I think the Lions win? Yes. Do I think the Colts cover? Yes. If you like the Lions, I'd probably put them in a teaser, get them down to like minus a half a point, and you should be able to catch the ticket that way.
I'm not going to bore you with New England, Miami. How about this one here? Dallas, Washington. I mean, now Washington comes off a tough loss to the Eagles. Dallas has nothing. But why am I sitting here thinking rivalry, divisional game? I mean, it's one of the great rivalries. Does Dallas have anything left? And is this maybe their Super Bowl? Because this is really going to be their last hurrah here. And Washington's got to show they can come from a bad second half. They had a great first half against Philly. I thought they shut them down, held them to 6 points, and they really fell apart in the second half. Some kind of crazy coaching there by Dan Quinn going for it and not taking the points there. You think Dallas makes this thing close? Do you take Dallas in the points, or is this skins and all the way?
I mean, before the season started, I came on your show again, and I didn't like the Cowboys this year. I loved them last year. This year, I told you their offensive line maybe in the top 15. Usually they're a top 5 offensive line. I expected them to regress. I told you guys to go under 10.5 in their season win total. And I think we already cashed that ticket. I don't think they could win more than 10 games. But when it comes to betting the side, like you said, plus 10 points, it's a lot of points. Division game. But this Cowboys team.
I know. Terrible.
I mean, I think they got the worst point difference in the NFC and the second worst in the entire league. So when they lose big. They've lost 5 straight games by an average of 20 points. It's just been ugly for this team. They love turning the ball over. I think they're ranked 30th in the league in the turnover metric. And now they got to face a Commanders team coming off a loss. That's never a good thing. Cowboys defense is extremely banged up.
10's a lot of points, though.
Yeah, 10's a lot of points. I think the total's kind of low at 44.5. I kind of like the over a little bit. I haven't bet the side yet, but if I do, I'll give it out on X on my Twitter account at Philly Godfather for you guys.
How about this one here? Here's a little nugget here for you. Kansas City, Carolina. I know it's Carolina, but do you know that if Andy Reid wins this weekend, which is most likely, obviously, it'll be the 19th time that he's had a 10-win season in his coaching career. How crazy is that when you're looking at how many times that he's won that many ball games here? So in your opinion here, Kansas City, Carolina, do you take Carolina in the points? A lot of points here too. I mean, this is one of those freaky ones because could Kansas City rest players coming off that loss to Buffalo, and you want to be healthy because they've been banged up the last couple weeks. Could you see them throttling it down in the second half and Carolina covering that number?
I mean, the numbers right now, I think they're minus 11 and totals at 43. Early action, right about 80% of the tickets are on the Chiefs, so the whole world's betting the Chiefs. And Vegas never gives out gifts, but I would need at least 20 points here to bet the Panthers. I mean, coming off, Chiefs are coming off a loss. They're going to be a little pissed off. The Panthers are still the most banged up team in the NFL. They rank in the basement of the league at turnover differential. They love giving the ball up. I haven't bet the game yet, but I'm not looking to bet against a pissed off, Kansas City Chiefs team. That Kansas City pass rush, they're going to wreak havoc on that kid all day. I haven't bet the game yet, but if anything, I might look to play the under, but I haven't bet the game yet.
Tennessee and Houston. Tennessee's a funny team, man. They hang around the rim every single game that they play in. I think it's a testament to that coach. And Houston's coming off a dominant performance against the Cowboys, where they're now, believe it or not, here's how they rank in the state of Texas now, the best teams. Houston Texans, the Texas Longhorns, and then the Dallas Cowboys. And so now you got the Texans here with Tennessee, and it's at home. Houston and CJ kind of giving the ball up a little bit more this year. Joe Mixon has been a nice addition to that offense, and they got Nico Collins back. Do you like this football team, and do you like them to cover?
I'm hoping the Titans keep losing. I gave them out at 11-1 on your money to end up with the worst record in the NFL. So I just want the Titans to keep losing. We also bet them under 7.5 wins. We bet them under 6.5 wins. So I'm not really looking to invest in this Titans team. They're 1-9 against the spread. So if you bet them in every game, you've lost 90% of the time. They're just so bad. Offensively, they've had 18 turnovers, while on the defensive side, they've only had 7 takeaways. So that's not a team you want to really bet on. Titans offense ranks in the basement of the NFL in almost every metric. So on top of them giving the ball away, they can't really put up too many points. Their defense ain't half bad. It's just a hard team to invest in. Houston's starting to get healthier. They got a lot of weapons on the field. They're going to make that run. At the number, though, it's 7.5. The division game. Oh, man. The right side is Tennessee, but with a team that turns the ball over that much, you can't bet it. So you just got to bet. Sometimes the best decisions you make are the ones you don't. I'm not looking to bet the Titans here.
I think because, like you said, the quarterback play and the turnovers is why you don't hang your hat on those guys. Too much of a gamble there with this. Are you buying Denver? Denver 1 week looks like they're going to make the postseason, and right now they're in the playoff hunt. Then you got the Raiders, who are just, the Raiders, unfortunately, because that's where they are. They're a 6-7 win football team at best this season here. Gardner Minshew's a starting quarterback. Bo Nix had a really good week last week. But you're starting to buy this Denver team. They're running the ball better and they're playing defense better. And you're starting to see a proficient quarterback. And even though he's a rookie, I think the guy's 42 years old. He played 100 years at Auburn, and he played another 200 years at Oregon. This guy was on a GI Bill in college, man. It's crazy here, but he looks like a veteran guy now in Denver.
Well, he's got the right coaches behind him. That always helps. You see what's happening in Chicago with Caleb Williams. Maybe if Caleb went to the Broncos, his numbers would be a lot better. Do I like the Broncos? Yeah. Have they had their problems against the Raiders over, recent history? They've had some issues beating this Raiders team. But I think Bo Nix has another big game here versus a mediocre pass defense that's really banged up heading into Sunday. I like Bo Nix to go over 217.5 passing yards in this matchup. He's gone over 217 passing yards in 3 of his last 4 games, and he seems to just get better each and every week. So I think Bo Nix is going to have a long NFL career as long as he doesn't get banged up. I think he's with the right coaches. The Lions Broncos -6, a division game. With that defense, I think the Broncos can cover the spread. It is on the road, but I lean towards the Broncos a little bit -6.
You got to have a line on. I could see Daniel Jones landing in Dallas, the Raiders. I doubt Chicago. I don't know how much he would help. Could he land in Carolina? Possibly land in Carolina, or maybe one of those teams in the NFC South. Right? Could you see him with the Raiders? It's a Raider move.
That kid makes so many bad decisions. I wouldn't want him on my team. I just he's going to
pop Dimes Jones on your team.
He's going to pop up somewhere. I don't know where he's going. I really haven't paid attention. I feel kind of sorry for the kid because the kid has shown some flashes of some really good talent, but some of the brain cramps he has at key moments in games, turning the ball over, making some just dumb plays. It is what it is, Dan. This week they play the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are what? 6-point favorites. Tampa Bay still a little banged up on offense and defense. They're coming off a bye, so that should help them. The Giants are a much healthier team. Tampa Bay, they lost 4 straight, so things aren't going well.
Since they lost Godwin and Evans,
that's huge. It's hard to make up. When you lose that type of production offensively, it's hard to get that back. But laying 6 points is a ton in the NFL, even if it's against a bad Giants team. Early public money is all over Tampa Bay, right around 70% of the action. If the line gets to 7, I'll probably jump on Tommy Cutlets plus a touchdown. I'll probably be on the Giants at +7. It's a key number. Nothing big, probably like a small, tiny wager. But +7 is probably right side with the Giants at home.
Got to jump on with the pizza guy. I like it. It's a pretty big game here, man. San Francisco's got to win. Green Bay's got to stay in contention here. 49ers, if they want to be a player and they want to be a postseason team, that NFC West is as competitive. You can make the argument that the NFC West and the AFC North and the NFC North are your 3 best divisions in football, and you got everybody hanging around that 500 number right now. San Francisco, Green Bay. It's at Lambeau. What do you like here?
Yeah, and when you talk about divisions, the NFC North, every team in that division has a plus point differential.
Yeah.
In the year. So, yeah, I mean, it's a big game for both teams. The 49ers are looking up at Arizona in first place, and they're behind the 5-5 Seahawks and Rams because of tiebreakers. So this is huge. But the Packers, they're also trying to keep up with the Lions and the Vikings. So, there's a lot of hunger going on in this match. It's probably one of the better games we're going to watch this weekend. Early market reports right around 50-50 on the ticket splits. So nothing really there. Both teams 6-4 against the spread on the season. So they made you a little bit of money if you bet them blindly each and every week. When it comes to betting the side, both teams rank in the top 10 in turnover margin. Green Bay's ranked slightly higher. They also have 3 more takeaways on the season on defense. But I don't know if Purdy's playing. I'm getting reports that he might not play here.
Yeah. He's questionable for Sunday.
Yeah, so he's banged up. Packers are the healthier team going into this matchup. I laid 2 already. There's still some 2.5s, 3s out there. The Packers, like I said, are the much healthier team. They got a +7 health score overall over the 49ers and +12 on the defensive side of the football. So I like the Packers here. I think they also have some revenge on their mind from last year's divisional playoff loss where they really gifted the 49ers that game with the 2 turnovers. They lost that turnover battle 0-2. So that didn't happen. They probably go on to play the Lions. So they definitely have some revenge on their minds. The Super Bowl hangover, it's real, man. People don't want to talk about it. But before the season started, I gave out the under 11.5 wins for the 49ers, and you see what happens, the following year. The Super Bowl hangover is real. I like the Packers here. I think the 49ers lose this game, and I don't think they make the playoffs, man. They got a tough stretch down, towards the end of the season. They got to play the Chargers, the Dolphins, the Lions. They got to play the Bills, the Cardinals, and the Bears. And if they lose this game, they're going to be in trouble.
Absolutely, man. We stay in the NFC West. But, you and I liked Arizona at the beginning of the year. They had built a nice roster up, and boy, Kyler Murray's playing really good ball. Seattle took out at the end of that ball game the 49ers, which really put them in a pickle for this Packer game, like you said, this weekend. I mean, Seattle's a good football team, man. I mean, they're not great, but they can beat you, and they're going to win 70% of their football games just because of the good talent that they have on that roster. It's a pretty big game, again, in the NFC West here. Who do you like? Arizona goes to Seattle.
Yeah, I think the Cardinals come back down to earth after winning 4 straight games. Their pass defense a little banged up. Give me Geno Smith at a pick 'em. It's hard to play up there in Seattle. I think Geno has a big game. I would bet his over in his passing yards this week. And as long as Seattle doesn't, lose the turnover battle and gift Arizona the game, I think you should be able to cash a ticket. Give me Seattle at a pick, man. I like them. I also kind of like the over 47.5 a little bit.
Monday night game, big game. Baltimore loses to Pittsburgh this past weekend, and Pittsburgh drops the game obviously on Thursday night. They played the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers have been a nice story under Jim Harbaugh this year. By the way, J.K. Dobbins, what a great story that's not being reported. I mean, for traditionally being a pass team all those years, I mean, Justin Herbert looks like the elite quarterback that people thought he was going to be coming out of Oregon. It just shows you good coaching. Brandon Staley's a stiff. Now you've got a coach in there that knows what he's doing, and you're getting good play from Derwin James. You're seeing Joey Bosa playing. I mean, this is a pretty interesting game here for Baltimore. If they lose, they go to 7-5 on the season. And, you start looking at them and you start questioning, as good as Lamar has played this year and Henry, I mean, you got to win games here.
Yeah. And like you said, last year under Staley, that Chargers team was so dysfunctional. Seems like every decision he made was the wrong decision. Now you got a real coach, a real coaching staff, and you see how efficient and proficient this Chargers team has become. One of the best defenses, I think, in the league. I think they've let up the least amount of points in the entire NFL this season. And then you combine that with a stud quarterback like Justin Herbert, things can only get better. I think you're grabbing, 2.5, 3 points on the game. Chargers are at home. Ravens are coming off that loss. They're going to be starving. Chargers pass defense, a little nicked up going into this one. I haven't bet it yet. Public's probably going to be on the Ravens. Man, this is tough because Herbert's so good, and the Chargers are starting to play some really good football. But I kind of lean towards the Ravens a little bit, but I haven't bet it yet. But I lean towards the Ravens at anything under a field goal.
Before I get to a few college games, like 3 college games, Aaron Judge ends up winning his second MVP award, right? You know what my new nickname for him is? Mr. May. Oh, no, Mr. June. He's not Mr. October. He's Mr. June.
He's definitely not Reggie Jackson, man.
No, so, I mean, as a Yankee fan, I mean, someone goes, Sills, what'd you make of Aaron Judge winning his second MVP? I go, hey, Mr. June, man, congratulations to you, man. I mean, way to go. You won your second MVP award. But in New York, you're only gauged by winning championships. I don't think it was a shocker Shohei Ohtani won, though.
Yeah, and I heard he's doing some sponsorship deals with the dairy market. He's on the back of.
I heard he was doing sponsorship deals with a gambling house somewhere too. But hey, that's just a rumor.
But yeah, I had the Yankees at 13-1 before the season started. We hedged for some free money, but if he shows up at all, and if Boone, I mean, that manager really got me upset. He kept pitching to Freddie Freeman. I mean, Freddie, he was just destroying him.
That guy, if the boss was alive, he'd be canned.
It's nuts. I mean, Freeman ended up, 13, 14 RBIs for the World Series. I mean, after that first game, the way they won, I would have never gave Freeman another pitch he could look at.
Yeah.
Just put him on base.
I'd have hit him.
Yeah, and it's a shame because Judge didn't show up, but it was a great World Series to watch. But, yeah, he's the MVP. He put up some big numbers. It is what it is.
College game. Big game in Columbus. First time since 1967. Indiana, Ohio State actually matters. Indiana right now is one of the 12 teams in the playoff, but I'm on that panel that picks this. I'll tell you this. You tell me, Philly, if Indiana loses and I look at their roster and their schedule of games, they haven't played a top 25 team outside of this, and they would not have won against a top 25 team. I mean, I look at Indiana, even with a 1 loss, I think that could be detrimental to them not making the final 12 here. I mean, how big is this game and who do you have? I mean, Ohio State looks like they've wobbled a couple times this year and not played their A game. Indiana and Columbus to take on the Buckeyes. Who do you like here?
Yeah, like you said, Indiana's opponents haven't been the best, but if you look at the market, they've covered the spread in 8 out of 10 games this year, so they've outperformed the market, and they've covered the closing Vegas number by an average of 14.6 points. So they're actually pretty good. That's a real gauge. That's how you can gauge these teams. Are they outperforming the market? What are they? How many points are they outperforming the market by? And like I said, they've been covering the number by an average of almost 15 points. While Ohio State's 5-5 against the spread, if you just bet them blindly this season. Line's 11.5, 12. I was hoping the line jumps up to 13, maybe 14. I'll probably look to take the dog if it keeps going up. Haven't bet the game yet. I kind of like the under in the first half, under 27. They're supposed to have a lot of wind in that game to kick off the game. So I think the under has a chance of covering. But again, Ohio State's a juggernaut. I took them before the season started at 4-1 to win the entire thing. So it's not going to be easy. If the line keeps going up to 13 or 14, I'll probably be on the dog. I'll probably be on the Hoosiers at 14.
See, here's what I'm saying here. They have not played one ranked team all year. Played Florida International, Western Illinois, UCLA, Charlotte, Maryland, Northwestern, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan State, and Michigan, which is not ranked right now. So this game, if they want to make that final 12, it's a big game for them. Like, my opinion, if they lose 26-24, they make it. If they get blown out 56-20, I don't think they make it because the optics will look they don't have anybody on their schedule that they play.
Yeah. What if they cover the spread? Now it's 11.
Yeah, I'm all right with that. I would be okay with that. They got to make this game closer to them. Right now, their schedule, they would play, believe it or not. We talked about it 2 nights ago. If they were to make it right now, they would play Ole Miss.
Wow, that's not a good. Ole Miss is really good. Ole Miss is, their defense is, oh man, that'd be a bad matchup for them. But listen, other than beating Michigan by 5 points, their average margin of victory this year is like 33 points. So they've blown out some really bad teams. I mean, it was on their schedule. What do you want to do?
I get it. I mean, to me, a one-loss Indiana team versus a two-loss Georgia team, I'm going Georgia.
Yeah, that's
Georgia's played more quality opponents. That's kind of what the argument is right now because the college football has an imbalance. Hey, how about this one here? If I'm not mistaken, Army's unbeaten. They got Notre Dame this weekend in South Bend. Army is one of those tough games, man, because you look at that weird-ass offense they run. I mean, how do you look at this one here? Army's had a really great season. I mean, the guy's up for Coach of the Year award. I mean, Army Notre Dame in South Bend. Who do you like here?
I didn't bet the game, but there's some real sharp money that took Army plus 14.5. It's probably the right side. So I didn't really go through the game yet. But, it's a well-respected syndicate that wins long-term. And at plus 14.5, it's a lot of points, man. I kind of agree with them. But I'll dig, more into the game probably tomorrow.
9-0 so far going into the Notre Dame game. Then they got another one. Then they got Army-Navy, obviously, at the back end. And that game, if I'm not mistaken, is in Washington, D.C. and Landover. So, hey, one last question here for you. For me, that game's at Yankee Stadium. Okay, that game's at Yankee Stadium, too. Pretty cool. Notre Dame and Army, old school Yankee Stadium game when Rockney and all that. Help me out here. I got to turn in my Heisman vote December 6th. Is it Travis Hunter?
Right now, I mean, he's the odds-on favorite. It looks that way, man. The kid's played lights out. The Colorado team without him wouldn't be 8-2. They become really dangerous all of a sudden. And for all, Prime detractors, he turned that team around in 2 years. I mean,
there's a shot he could play in the Big 12 title game if shit falls right for him.
Yeah, it's wild. So, a lot of people are hating on Primetime, but you can't hate on him. I mean, he's done a great job coaching. He's got the best kid in the country playing for him, playing both ways. Right now, he's the odds-on favorite. Depends how they look against Kansas. I kind of like Kansas in that game. I took him +3 against Colorado. Maybe if Cam Ward goes out and throws 6-7 touchdowns against Wake Forest and runs one in. But as of right now, yeah, Hunter's the odds-on favorite for the Heisman.
Tell the folks how they can find you, my friend.
You can find me on X at Philly Godfather. The website is thephillygodfather.com. And every Friday at 5:30 p.m. on the best show in the world, the Dan Sileo Show.
Keep punching, my friend. I appreciate it.
Good luck, guys.
You got it. Legendary Philly Godfather. I love that segment, man. Breaking down all the games. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
Score and save in southeastern PA and Delaware with Colony Pools this football season, and let the experts close your pool with a custom Merlin safety cover in green for the birds. And if you join our Winter Watch team, we'll give you another 20% off, and Colony Pools will handle it all. Keep your tiles on your pool, not in your pool. Fly with Colony right now, birds fans. Visit flywithcolony.com.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Hi everybody, my name's Jason Lombardi. I'm an inspector at JAKIB. At JAKIB we offer three major services, the first one being basement waterproofing. The second service we offer is foundation and structural repairs. And then the third service that we offer is mold remediation. If you feel you are having a waterproofing issue, give JAKIB a call or check us out online.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
EAGLES, Eagles.
I learned one thing. You guys only count Big Sills' losses. We're 6-4 or 5-5. We're going to get a run a number on that. That's all you guys hear. The professional antagonist. Hey, I got Rams 28-21. You know why? Because Jalen Hurts has lost one of his security blankets in his binky. And this is why I'm going on Sunday with Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams. So, pre and post, Sunday, JAKIB, be there or be square. The only place that is truth, justice, and the Big Sills way is here on JAKIB. Don't believe what you read. Believe what you hear. How you doing? Have a great weekend. We love you guys. Thank you for everything. Please hit the like button. We'll see you Sunday on the pregame show. Have a great one. Big Z, awesome. Joe, thank you. 2 to 6 on Monday, National Football Show. See you on the flip side.